commentaries. Brought to you by the worldwide internet football community, MyFootballClub.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's Premier League match here from Creasey Park in Dunstable, where Dunstable Town take on Slough Town on the 11th of April 2015. We're brought to you today by MyFootballClub.co.uk and also the Slough Town Supporters Trust.co.uk. John is here. We've got a bit of a strange...
We've got a kind of windy position going on, haven't we, really?
It's not the best of positions today, but better than Monday at Hungerford.
We've got up slightly in our estimations there, but we're looking forward to a good game. The pitch conditions are excellent. What isn't quite so ideal is there is a
I know, it's affecting my hair terrible.
I know, I can see, hang on, there's what... Yeah, there we go. It's straight again.
Thanks.
We're good now. Welcome along if you are a first-time listener. We're a few minutes ahead of kick-off here. It's a bright, sunny afternoon, a few kind of fluffy, picturesque clouds in the sky, but there is a good old wind sweeping from right to left as we look at it, isn't it?
Yep, and we've got a gliding centre somewhere over on our far right and some model aeroplanes, so if the football does get a little bit boring, we can at least commentate on that for you.
Yeah, local thriller. Do you want to do an initial run through the two teams?
I'll stick my head through the barrier so I can... Oh, you got the team sheet there. That's even better. Okay, starting with the hometown today, Dunstable Town. They will be playing in blue and white. In goal, Charlie May. 2 is Elliot Bailey. 3, Charlie Smith. 4, David Long King. 5 is Shane Blackett. 6, Danny Talbot. 7, Adam Watkins. 8, Charlie Henry. 9 is Jamal Mackenzie Lowe. 10 is Gary Wharton. 11 is Chris Marsh. And the subs for Dunstable are Gary Jones 12, David Lynn 14, Kai Gardner 15, and the player manager Tony Fontanelle is 16. The captain for Dunstable today is Chris Marsh.
And there's 2 Ed Smiths involved.
I haven't got that far.
Oh, sorry.
You're jumping ahead of us.
Oh, okay.
The team for the Rebels today, we've got a couple of changes due to the red cards that were picked up in the Corby and Hitchin game. So Luke Williams is in goal. Tom Moran is right back. 3, Ryan Parsons. 4, Guy Hollis. 5, Billy Jeffries comes in for the suspended Reece York. Ben Edwards wears 6 and captain. 7 is Sean Fraser. 8, Adam Martin. 9, Dan Reed. 10, Ed Smith. And 11, Chris Henry. And the subs for today's games are 12, George Short. 14, Gherkin Gockman. 15 is Joe Grant, and 16 is Oscar Betts. Joe Grant is a young 18-year-old lad who normally plays for Ascot, but he's signed on dual registration. And today's referee is Paul Evans from Northamptonshire, and his 2 assistants have come all the way from Essex. One is Andy Humphreys, and the other is a certain Edward Smith. So has he got his dad running the line? Which Ed Smith will have a greater impact. I do have some details, obviously. For those of you who don't know, we have 2 people doing the sponsored walk. It's a Slough tradition that people walk to the last away game of the season. We've got 2 people doing it today. They'll start next Monday, won't they? It's a 5-day walk. It's 110 miles away to Dorchester Town. So you can sponsor the 2 people. That's Kay Leafy, who's the General Secretary here at Slough, and Mark Radford. Sponsor them through the Slough Town Supporters Trust. You go on the website, there's a bit that says sponsorship, and you can click on it. It's paid through PayPal. You don't have to have a PayPal account to actually sponsor them. And they're raising money for a charity that used to be called Sad in Slough, which is Sports for the Disabled People. It's actually called PALS now, and the money is specifically being raised for a disability football team that they're going to be running in a league that's based in Slough. So Slough trying to get into the community, as they hope to do with obviously when the new stadium does finally come through. And this is another step that they're taking by putting some money into this disabled team. So it's all good news, and it's worthwhile just popping in. Even if you can just donate a £5 or a £10. You know, imagine trying to do 110 miles in 5 days. It's almost 5 marathons, isn't it? So he would indeed. And the other one that we've got for you as well is obviously next Saturday, home to Frome is the last home game of the season. It's also my FC Day. So make sure that you come down for that last game of the season. And we've also got the Slough Legends game, which will be at Farnham Park on the 13th of June. It will be a 3 p.m. kickoff. It's a fundraiser for the club, so all the money raised will actually go to the football club. The admission will be £4 for adults and £2 for children. There will be an evening at the Herschel Arms that night where I have a list of players which I will run through with you.
As opposed to an evening during the day?
Yes, that's what I meant, yes. But apparently all the players who are so far confirmed will be going to the evening do as well. So as the players come out, I'll just quickly run through with you the legends who have agreed to come down. We've got Darren Wilkinson, Steve Daly, Christian Metcalf, Ryan Spencer, Matt Miller, Eddie Denton, Mark West, Danny Murphy, Steve Bateman, Derek Sweetman, Jamie Jackson, Trevor Bunting, Adrian Blake, Ryan Parsons and Dean Harper. Those are the definites who are definitely coming down. They are working on more and more players coming down as we speak. As the players here at Creasey Park, Dunstable, just go through the handshake formation, and the man with the announcer, I don't know where he is, he's very loud.
Yeah, he is. He's very loud, isn't he? He also sounds a little bit like he's in a submarine or something.
Yes. There they go, look, just turning up.
Here come the Underwoods. At least there's some Underwoods represented
John
today.
John Underwood's not here today, apparently.
He's in Ireland.
He's in Ireland, apparently. Previous engagement. And Slough will be... I think, was it last year they changed the kit just before kick-off, wasn't it?
Yes.
Slough are in their purple away kit.
But they're wearing nice fetching yellow socks, which they normally don't wear. No. I think it looks actually quite smart, don't you? With the purple, with the yellow
Chris
socks.
Henry's got pink boots.
Yeah, that's a bit of a horrendous colour clash. He looks a bit like a... I'm not sure what it kind of exactly...
Henry's got bright orange boots, and Billy Jeffrey's got white boots.
Yeah, Billy Jeffrey's got rocking some new Nike boots, apparently, he was saying before the game. As Sean Fraser just tosses a water bottle. He's playing right midfield today, obviously in the absence of Jake Parsons, who's at the ground. And Rhys York is the other player you didn't mention was suspended, but he's not suspended from anything to do with the Corby game. He's suspended on 2 counts, one of which is related to his sending off away at Hitchin, and his other is that he accumulated 10 bookings, so he has a further 2 games, so he will actually miss out a game at least at the start of next season, depending on what happens with the Banbury game this season, which we're still yet to hear of. The referee...
Slough, they've not kicked off yet, but they've just done the coin toss.
And I think they've won. They've changed ends with the wind.
Kicking with the wind. And it is, as John said, it is a blustery day here. And in the warm-up, Luke Williams did have great difficulty kicking and get him just past the halfway line. So the wind will play a significant part in this game. And
Mick doesn't want to know the score in the national, the result in the national. By the way,
there is a horse running in the Grand National called Rebel Rebellion.
Really?
If it's anything like Slough's season, it will start well and then fall at the 13th fence and then get shot and put down.
Okay, so Slough will be shooting from right to left as we look at it. We're about on the halfway line on the far side from the dugouts here at Creasey Park. It's a very open, exposed ground, and there's quite a lot of wind out there. As a few of these Slough substitutes just make their way. The suspended. As we're off.
Game kicks off and Dunstable kick off.
You're doing the first bit, aren't you? Yeah.
I'll do the first bit.
Off you go.
Ball's flicked on. It's cleared well by Dunstable. Billy Jeffreys up against.
The small figure of Wharton. Up there,
and Sean Fraser flicks the ball off for Ed Smith, but it's just overhit. And
I think it might take the teams a little bit of time to adjust to the windy conditions. Slough certainly playing with it in the first half.
I think Ed Smith's going to have trouble adjusting to shooting because in the warm-up he hit every single shot into the car park. So
yeah, mostly endangering our cars. As Billy Jeffreys comes with a big header on the halfway line. Game barely 30 seconds old, and
poor touch by the right back Bailey there. So throw in for the Rebels. Chris Henry takes. You're going to leave it for Ryan Parsons.
And there isn't a huge amount. I'm hoping. I was saying to Mr. Baker before the game, you'll be able to hear his thoughts at half time.
You can see how windy it is. They're having trouble putting the flag up.
Yeah, I was saying to Mr. Baker before the game that it's difficult for these two teams to not have it as a kind of end of season feeling, because this could easily be an end of season game, kind of almost a bit of a play, a kind of pre-season friendly type feel to it, because both teams really don't have too much to play for, do they?
Not a lot. As Dunstable just win a free kick inside their old area, their ball was flicked on for Ed Smith, played it to Chris Henry. He was robbed by David Longking, and Chris Henry just gave him a slight pull as he tried to clear the ball. So it's a free kick to Dunstable inside their 18-yard box, which the keeper Charlie May will take.
There's some other interesting games in the league. Obviously, during the week, Poole had a surprise loss away at Cirencester. They're looking to almost throw the league away, it would appear, as Parsons just clears the ball down the line, hits it over Henry's head.
Dan Reid will be... Bailey, the right back's done really well to win that one off Dan Reid as the ball was played down the line. Kicks it to Chris Henry, and let's just say it hits his behind and goes off for a throw.
But I mean, what do you make of the title race? Because obviously Poole look like today a massive game with Truro hosting Corby in that game that was obviously a replay of the floodlit farce that happened when Truro trailing 2-1 late in the game, and all of a sudden the floodlights didn't stay on, did they? And
no, I think that Corby seems to be on a run. They're winning games 2-1, and they do seem to be getting a penalty every game.
But they've got a real tough run in. They've got Truro away, Weymouth away, and then finally that massive game that could decide the title, Poole, at Poole on the last day of the season. So it is in Corby's hands. Win 3 games and they win the league.
Yeah, tough 3 games, but I think for me, Poole have been the best team that we've seen in the 2 games this season, and I think they would deserve to win it. As Billy Jeffries clears long, well won by Blackett for the Dunstable defence, and it's out for a throw-in just by the home dugout on the far side. Not a lot of goalmouth action at the moment.
Mick's trying to learn to type. He's saying they're playing Pride, but I think he means playing for Pride, which he's now
not like playing a gay Pride football team.
As Watkins getting stuck in there and seemed to slash out a little bit at Dan Reid's face there, and it was Watkins, who's a combative midfielder in the middle there. Dan Reid still down on the floor. Referee hasn't actually noticed that it's a head injury, and that was quite a thing. There was a little bit of a tussle, and he kind of swung an arm a few times. Didn't
Watkins was part of the Luton youth team, wasn't he? And he came here, turned down a contract with Luton and came here. So he's got a lot of pedigree.
Yeah, I was just going to apologise if there's any fuzzing or hissing in the background that you can hear today. We are using a battery power source, so occasionally the frequency does slightly interfere with the microphone. So if you can't quite hear it,
it's not like someone's left their vibrator running or anything like that. It's not that kind of.
No, I made sure it's switched off. Yeah. It's in the car.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, Dan Reid just receiving some treatment just inside the Dunstable half. The referee there stood with his arms behind his back, just watching Super Kev dish out the treatment. The 3 quite inexperienced bench for Slough today. You've got the
4. Shorty's on there as well.
Yeah, but he's not getting warmed up because he's not going to have a nosebleed and go forward. And also you fancy that with George Short, he's had that groin injury that's kept him out for a little while. He may well still not be 100% fit, but yeah, little Oscar Betts is over there warming up, as is Gurkhan Gochman, and
Joe Grant,
and Grant also was there.
It's all taped down. Don't worry, it's cool.
I'm gonna
nothing's blown away apart from.
There we go. I'm just helping you. A little bit more tape there. As we're still stopped in play. We've played nearly 5 minutes. It's Dunstable 0, Slough 0. And Dan Reid looks as if he's making his way off. He's not altogether comfortable. Super Kev's got an arm round him, which doesn't look too good. Neil Baker's off the dugout, and it looks as if there is going to be a really initial substitution.
Is he coming straight off or not? Maybe he's just going to get some.
No, because you can see another player stripping behind it. I can't see who it is, as it's kicked all the way back by Billy Jeffries and Neil Baker's.
Like
Trent Phillips looks as if he was having to make his way off. So
it looks like Gochman will be the player coming on.
Yeah, it does. So an early blow for the Rebels, who could do with that.
That balls up my prediction, Lee, because I've got Dan Reid to score.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, early on a bit of not controversy, I would say. I mean, it was everyone around it seemed quite calm. But I know Dan Reid's had problems previously with shoulder injuries and something like that, and so perhaps he just got grabbed in such a way that it hurt it. But he seemed to grapple his face, didn't he, as he went down? As referee's assistant stands just in front of us with his flag billowing in the wind. But
yeah, long throw in from Guy Hollis, comes out to Adam Martin. Adam Martin trying to look for Chris Henry, but Chris Henry had come inside, and May can have the chance to throw the ball out here. Ball's played down to Mackenzie Lowe. Mackenzie Lowe nutmegs Guy Hollis. It gets past him. The ball's taken on by Charlie Henry. Played out to the far side. Oh, it's poor touch. Oh, good save by Luke Williams. It was right on the just on the 6-yard line, wasn't it? And unfortunately, you can't get behind the goal that Luke Williams is actually defending because it's all closed off for some building work. So he's not getting any abuse in the first half.
Not just as yet. It may get a little increase from the regiment in the second half as they are, but yeah, it's certainly not ideal at the moment. But
it's going to be first swinging corner for Dunstable
into the wind slightly as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting performance as such as a member of the press, I think, comes up and joins us. Just comes and sits up nearest people as it's going to be an in-swing corner. Is it Watkin with it?
I can't see.
I think it is. Oh no, Watkins at the far side of the box.
It's played in close all the way through the defence there, and all it needed was a touch. Unfortunately, Long King, the centre-back, and Mackenzie Lowe and Shane Black at the other centre-back couldn't get a touch on it. Ball's gone all the way through from the corner out for a goal kick to the Rebels, and that's a good corner there put in for Dunstable, but nothing comes of it.
Early goal in that top of the table game down in Truro. Corby have taken a 1-0 lead after a thumble from Tom McHale spoons it back into his own net, so I'm not sure whether that was an own goal.
And Ed Smith's onside, and he shoots from 40 yards out, and he's just put it on top of the crossbar. He looked a mile offside.
Yeah, but did it go when it wasn't flicked through at all? Did no one touch it at all? I think it was just that he ran on as it was, and it literally carried with the wind from Williams down to our right side, and it bounced all the way through. And Ed Smith had a touch. He lifted it over May, but sadly for Slough onto the top of the reef netting, and that was a great chance.
He wasn't far away from that, and
but surely he was offside. But
he looked a mile offside, but. Maybe the linesman on the far side. I don't know which one's Ed Smith, but
Paul's week isn't getting any better. They're trailing at home after 5 minutes, 1-0 to Hitchin. So Poole really aren't on good form at the moment, having I think lost 3 in a row.
Yeah, Tom Moran with a header out to Ed Smith. Fraser flicks it on for Gockman to Henry. It looks like Chris Henry's playing up front, and Gockman's come to the left-hand side. So Slough still with a 4-4-2 formation, and interested to see how Chris Henry does as a striker instead of a winger that he's normally been.
Yeah, well, in that free role, hopefully he may push on an attack.
Push in the back there, ref. Yeah,
a soft push in the back there on Billy Jeffrey, who likes to, who hopefully doesn't get injured again. Otherwise, we're all going to be in trouble. But great chance for Ed there.
Williams long kick, searching out Gockman on this far left. Just overruns it. He does well to try to keep it in, but unfortunately, he can't keep it in. It's out for a goal kick to Dunstable. But you can tell that the wind is affecting Williams' kicks are absolutely humongous.
Yeah.
And he's shouting at his players to gamble on the ball. Getting a lot of distance with that.
A little bit of foul language coming out. Not too much, though. Not too bad, really. As I think people are just sitting in the sun, just getting a little bit of warmth in there as we await the kick from May to our left-hand side.
Yeah, and the wind just about, it doesn't even clear the halfway line. Billy Jeffries with the header forwards. Chris Henry tried to take some, but just out of play.
The wind is so strong that you feel that Slough must take advantage of this, must get a couple of goals
in the first half.
The first half. Otherwise, I don't think conditions are going to change that much, and they'll be pressing. Because that ball's going to dangerously get held up again, and the programme gets blown off, as it were. Ow! I got hit on the head by the watch.
And this time, Chris Henry's offside. There's 5 or 6 Dunstable fans on the far hand side making some singing. Making some singing. I think they might have had a bit to drink. Charlie May with a free kick for Dunstable. Billy Jeffries does well to win the header against Maxwell Lowe, but it's out for a throw in to Dunstable on this near hand side, which the right back Bailey will take. Just waiting to have the ball retrieved. There aren't many fans here today.
No, it's quiet, isn't it, here?
Ball comes back to Bailey. Bailey receives it back. Foul by Ryan Parsons as Bailey tries to cut inside, and it will be a free kick to Dunstable. 5 yards away from the level of the penalty area, right on the side touchline, and it looks like it's going to be Talbot. Talbot and Charlie Henry are standing over the ball. And Slough have a one-man wall of Ryan Parsons. Gockman's just going to join him in the wall. It will be Talbot with the ball into the box, left-footed. Well cleared by Billy Jeffries. And
Sean Fraser well, hasn't he?
And Adam Watkins just with a high foot there.
Why didn't he let the advantage play just for a moment? Because Chris Henry looked to have the running there as it ball bounced dangerously through. No one really attacking it. And Slough will have a free kick just inside their own half. But you've got to feel that they might be a little bit unhappy there that the referee didn't play advantage. As we played 11 minutes, still remains goalless here at Creasey Park.
But it's a lovely day, isn't it? Nice and sunny.
It is. It's Chippenham 1. And it looks like Chippenham 1, Cambridge City 1 is an early score. I think Cambridge took the lead and Chippenham have since equalised.
Long free kick, flips on by Adam Martin. Gockman on the far hand side, does well to keep it in. Into the box. And unfortunately, Ed Smith and Sean Fraser both jumped for the ball at the same time. Neither of them called for it. No decent contact, and it's out for a throw-in. And Tony, the steward who's normally at Slough, retrieves the ball here for Dunstable today. So AP's getting in for free. as he's acting as their ball boy. So it's goal kick for Dunstable. Goalkeeper May will take. Going to try and get this one over the halfway line. Again, it gets caught up in the wind. Doesn't make it. Billy Jeffries does well to jump. Gockman does well to keep this in. But Charlie Henry can't get hold of it. It's out for a throw-in to Dunstable on the far-hand side. But Billy Jeffries is winning a lot of balls in the air in this first 15 minutes. As Wharton comes over. It's taken short to Henry. Henry flicking the ball on. Billy Jeffries again, first to the header. And it's a throw-in for Dunstable, right in front of us here. Bailey takes to Mackenzie Lowe. Closed down immediately. Comes through to Henry. Henry does well. He's up against Gockman. Loses ball out to Fraser. Fraser in the centre of the pitch. Plays it to Ed Smith, but Blackett comes over for Dunstable. Clears up well. And then plays it out to Marsh on the far-hand side. And the ball was played against... hit by a Dunstable player, another Dunstable player, and it's... Ball's gone out of play on the far-hand side. It will be a throw-in to the Rebels.
One thing noticeable to the Rebels early on is that actually the amount of noise that's coming from the centre-back partnership for once, and it is noticeable that Billy Jeffries is actually opening his mouth. You could hear him there shouting at Ryan Parsons, shouting at Henry, shouting at people what to do. And I think in the last few weeks it's been a very quiet back four with Hollis back there, York back there, Parsons back there, and Fraser. That you could hear from the sides barely any talk at all.
And Tom Moran's come in today in right back, and he's not a great shouter as well. But ball's flicked on. It's Sean Fraser on the far-hand side. Ed Smith with a high foot. And the referee and linesman haven't decided what to do. He's going to give it as a goal kick. That was terrible. The referee and linesman looked at each other. Neither of them knew what to do. Did the safe option and give it as a goal kick, much to the annoyance of the Slough fans, who aren't high in numbers behind the goal today.
No, today we've got on the pitch a number of Smiths, including two Ed Smiths. We've got three Smiths, including obviously left back Charlie Smith. We've also got two Henrys, two Ed Smiths.
One's a linesman.
One's a linesman, but
he's not on the pitch.
We've also then got Charlie Smith, who's left back, who's another Smith, and we've got two Henrys. So, hello, incoming.
Over the top.
Thankfully, I just saw my life flash before my eyes for a moment there. As one of the locals adorned in a very good blues hat, as the Duns want to just go say, as a young boys finishes apple pie. Hopefully it was a good apple pie. I'd like an apple pie. We don't get cakes when we're away, do we?
Ryan Parsons to take this throw in. Just in front of us. He's looking for an option. Throws it to Adam Martin. Adam Martin flicks it back into Ryan Parsons. Played in over the top. And Long King can see that one out. And again it's gone out. And it's be a goal kick to Dunstable, and the wind there again, taking that little ball through played by Ryan Parsons, just gave it a big old gush. It's even trying to blow the bottle of drink that I've got over on this railing off. So it's still 0-0 here. We've played 15 minutes, is that right?
Yeah.
It's sure? It's going really slow, isn't it?
It is unfortunately not going as perhaps as quick as it could be. But
again, May with a long kick. He still can't clear the halfway line. Jeffries up against Mackenzie Lowe, does well again. Into the middle. And Ben Edwards arms off Watkins in a rugby-style challenge, and the two of them clash again. And Watkins has just been a bit combative today. Ball's out on the far-hand side to the left-back. Play through to Mackenzie Lowe. But it's flicked on by Ben Edwards. He had plenty of time there, didn't take it. And Watkins tangles with Charlie Henry, wins a free kick. And they're looking quickly to get Charlie Henry into the game. He plays it in, plays a long ball through, but... over here, and Luke Williams comes out and claims that one in his bright orange kit today.
Yeah.
Long kick again. He's looking for Gockman again. It's Charlie Henry running against Bailey on the far-hand side, and Slough win the throw in there. The referee gave it the right way. Linesman didn't. It's shaken quickly to Gockman. Gockman flicks it in. Shane Blackett with the clearance. It will come to Ryan Parsons. Oh, he nutmegs Charlie Henry, and then Bailey, the right back, clears that one over our heads. It's another ball behind the back. It's the poor bloke that's got there has just sat down. He's had to go and get another ball.
Yeah, he's. It's interesting how they line up. It would be Henry against Henry, but unfortunately, Henry has moved into the centre forward position, so he's now not up against his namesake. As
short throw by Ryan Parsons, poorly taken, cleared by Dunstable. Billy Jeffries up against Mackenzie Lowe, and Billy Jeffries does one to knock it wide. It's out played to Tom Moran down the line and. Again, not
in any particular direction at all, but it does show how quick.
And Slough will have the chance to pin Dunstable in quite close, about 5 or 10 yards away from the corner flag on the far-hand side.
Yeah, and Henry for Dunstable does just appear to be cheating a lot. He's not tracking back with Gockman at all. He's
cheating.
Yeah, cheating in terms of not working back as it perhaps he should do. As
Ball's flicked in, one by Ben Edwards to Chris Henry. Chris Henry up against 2, does well to go past Blackett, gets down to the byline, needs to put a ball in. He does well, it's out for a corner. Good block there by the centre-back for Dunstable. David Longking with a long...
Longking has long legs, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he slid in there, and both him and Blackett are about 6 foot tall, quite lanky. As the Rebels fans behind the goal make a little bit of noise in the little stand there that's got some cover. It's Henry with the corner, aimed at the back post. Ed Smith heads it back in, but
he didn't factor in the wind in that time, because the wind just caught it a little bit, and Ed Smith just got a little bit too behind it, and he couldn't quite get it. So easily over May's goal. Slough obviously forced into one early substitution. If you're joining us late, Gockman's come on to play on the left-hand side of midfield. Chris Henry has gone up front as Dan Reid seemed to have some sort of facial injury, didn't he, in a tangle with Watkins early on in this game. I can't see if he's
still on the bench because all the players are in the way at the moment. But
I can't see him. I can see George Short sat next to Super Kev, and then the other.
This time, May does clear the ball over the halfway. Billy Jeffries again with a good win. Mackenzie Lowe this time allows the ball to bounce. Ben Edwards comes in, but Mackenzie Lowe does well, gets the ball. He's got a chance to run at goal. Cuts back onside.
He's tried to
throw the ball into Wharton.
Wharton
scoots and scores. And Dunstable take the lead, and yet again, on 18 minutes, it's a ball played in behind the back of the Slough defence, and Wharton gets through and blasts it past Luke Williams, who had no chance whatsoever.
Yeah,
but
it was a clever run across, because Mackenzie Lowe seemed like he had run down a kind of a bit of a cul-de-sac, but a great run across the edge of the 18-yard box by Wharton. He was found. The runners didn't track him. It looked like Parson and Hollis didn't track him very well, and he just had a moment there when he could score. Yeah,
and Wharton he's only just come here in the last month from Hitchin. And is a good finish as well, but poor defending again. And this time Wharton blocks the clearance from Ryan Parsons. Poorly cleared by Billy Jeffries. Charlie Henry closes on Ryan Parsons as well. Dunstable got the game between their teeth now. Adam Martin wins the ball. Out to Sean Fraser. Plays a poor ball forwards and safely into the hands of Charlie May. But the goal has given Dunstable a lease of life, and they're now looking quick to the ball. Wharton, especially up front, seems to be making a lot of intelligent runs.
Well, especially playing into this wind, as Slough had a good couple of chances where they perhaps should have done a little bit more with the ball, and they haven't quite done it. As Gockman picks up the ball just inside his own half, out to Ryan Parsons. Ryan Parsons down the line to Chris Henry. Chris Henry, heavy touch, and Adam Martin got a little bit of time in the middle of midfield, tries to thread a ball through in the direction of Ben Edwards.
With a good, and Sean Fraser just couldn't get to the interception, and the ball's played straight out on the far hand side for Marsh. Marsh up to Mackenzie Lowe. Wharton again on the turn. Charlie Henry. And again, it's a ball that's played behind the back. And Gockman is the furthest one back in the left-back position. Stops the ball getting to Charlie Henry. And Charlie Henry would have had a clear shot on goal. And Slough play a terrible ball forwards. And Slough just looking a little bit lost.
Yeah,
it looks like Gockman and Ryan Parsons seem to have swapped positions for the moment.
I think it's just till he tucks back in. I don't think it's permanent. I think it's...
So it's going to be a throw-in for Dunstable on this near-hand side. Bailey, the right back, to take it. Wharton does well to hold the ball up. Challenged by 3 Slough players. Given to Mackenzie Lowe. Mackenzie Lowe flicks it inside to Wharton again.
I'm still bemused by the situation in front of us as to who's left back. It looks like Parsons is now dropping back into the left back position as Henry tries to clip the ball.
Charlie Henry plays a quick 1-2.
Henry smashes the ball
forward. Ball's played through, and
Billy Jeffries ducked out of it, and it's gone all the way through to
Williams. Is a live wire. He was right onto the back of Billy Jeffries as the ball was played forward. Luke Williams, huge kick. Long King with the header. Adam Martin does well to control it. Out to the left back Parsons. No options. Tackled by Danny Talbot. That's a throw in for Rebels. And this time it's a long throw, but Bailey, the right back, wins. Wharton flicks it out to Mackenzie Lowe. Up against Hollis. Hollis flicks throughwards. And flicked it too far, straight into the hands of Charlie May in the Dunstable goal, who hasn't had a lot to do. He's going to take the ball, kicks it out, clears the half-time. The wind holding the ball up again. Mackenzie Lowe does well to win it. Flicks it onto Wharton. Wharton straight out to Marsh on the far-hand side. Marsh with an overlap, cuts inside to Charlie Henry. Charlie Henry, time to shoot. Is looking, closed down by Gockman, trying to find some space. Up against 2. On the far-hand side, does well to give it to Talbot. Talbot, closed down again by Slough. Back out to Charlie Henry, into Talbot, who's done well. He's driving into the box. Gets a low cross in. Mackenzie low with a move. And then it falls to Chuck. Wharton, who has a shot. It's blocked for a corner.
Yeah, another corner to Dunstable. Yeah, so we're getting close to swapping over. But at the moment, I'll let Ade carry on with this. But Dunstable, ever since that goal, have certainly started to play the ball nice and keep the ball down nice and low and play the ball.
It's the one thing that Slough aren't doing, isn't it? That Slough are just aiming for that long ball over the top and using the wind, where Dunstable playing it on the ground. And it's a very grassy pitch, isn't it, compared to maybe Beaconsfield?
Yeah, when you're on it, it looks a little bit more threadbare, but from the side certainly, and it's not playing too bad as a surface. It's quite hard, quite bouncy, as we're waiting the in-swinging corner from the far side.
Charlie Henry with a corner for Dunstable. Into the box. Luke Williams calls, claims,
and it's one-on-one at the back. So if he gets rid of this, drives it low, but it's not the right direction, unfortunately. But Ed Smith wanted it, and he'd been told it's not the keeper's fault. He's been doing what he was told there, but it was one-on-one at the back.
He didn't hit it properly.
Just a slightly better directed ball, and it would have been.
Bailey can bring it out for Dunstable, and Guy Hollis gives the ball away to Wharton again, and Luke Williams does well to come out and block that one. But again, a mistake by Guy Hollis, and Gary Wharton, the number 10 for Dunstable, could have a field day here today. Yeah, Guy Hollis is nowhere near him whatsoever.
And Guy Hollis tried to kind of chest that ball and block the ball, but it didn't quite do it. As
long ball played forward. It's out to Adam Martin. He gives it to Gockman. Gockman with a little bit of time. Going to have a go at the player, but loses out.
And it's Marsh finds himself on the right wing.
It's Watkins on the floor, and Guy Hollis. The linesman's given offside, but he's nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, but I think it was to him, and I think it was that Guy was shouting at him to kind of say, "Yeah, he's offside, he's offside, he's offside." But anyway, shall I carry on?
You go for it. Yeah,
I'll have a look at Karen because you seem to be bad luck. You've cost us a goal.
The way we're playing, everything costs us a goal at the moment.
Everything does, as Williams drives the ball long in the direction seeking out Sean Fraser, and it's well won in the air. It just seems that the two wingers for Dunstable have swapped round, with Henry taking a turn on the left flank and Marsh coming over on the right, and Dunstable certainly with their tails in the air. Billy Jeffries comes forward, has a touch, flicks it up in the direction of Fraser down the right side, but it's spending a little bit of time in the air. It's cleared by Blackett, but not that far or convincingly, and it's now left back with Parsons. Parsons trying to build another Slough attack with the wind at their backs. They trail by a goal to nil, and Parsons doesn't really have any options going forward, so he's still stuck on the ball on the halfway line, flicks it through to Adam Martin, who miscues it. Cleared well by Dunstable, and again it's a foot race for Hollis who comes across strongly and takes it off Wharton, but Dunstable looking sharp.
Yeah, they are indeed, and what they're doing is they're playing sensible balls past the Slough defence. We know the Slough defence, new partnership obviously at the back of Billy Jeffries and Guy Hollis. But
throw comes in. It's into Watkins in the middle of midfield, in midway in the side of the Slough half. Plenty of time to fire the ball out to Smith in the left back position. Dunstable quite happy to spend time in the Slough half. A nice ball through towards the feet of Mackenzie. Mackenzie back out left to Smith, who's out there now. There's Smith and Marsh combining, and it's Smith drives the ball into the box. Guy Hollis just about keeps Wharton under control again, but Slough still haven't got it cleared, and it's Wharton up against Hollis. It seems to come off Wharton's hand there as finally Billy Jeffries put his white boot to ball and sends a long ball all the way back, and Slough will be able to finally clear their lines, Ade.
Yeah, it is indeed, and Slough just looking for that long ball over the top. It's not working, and for me, I'd say the same as Hungerford. For me, Adam Martin is too far back. He's playing literally as if he's a holding midfield player. He's better going forwards. He should swap places with Ben Edwards immediately. Let Ben sit there and hold back and give Adam Martin the chance to go forwards. At the moment, Ben's the furthest one player, and he's not forward enough to help out.
Yeah, as Dunstable just in the left back position with Smith, try and clear the ball up forward, and once again it's Mackenzie comes to be playing a little bit deeper, puts a ball in behind, faces Hollis towards his own goal, and it's good play by Wharton, who's Wharton controlled it, right hand into the box, he's going to pull the trigger, he smashes it, it's blocked well by Billy Jeffries back there, but still not clear as it's Watkins on the ball. Dunstable plenty of play, they're playing it back to Bailey just inside the Slough half. Nice
lovely little touch. Watkins
is through on goal. He's fallen over and tripped over himself, but a ball comes smashed as in by Mackenzie Smith, by Wharton, and it's blocked there by Billy Jeffries, but Slough looking at 6 and 7s.
There was a lovely back heel in the play there. I think it was
Marsh. Yeah, it was Marsh in there.
Marsh with
he came across,
kicked it through.
Yeah, they the two wingers seem to have swapped, with Marsh coming over playing left-footed but on the right wing, and it's going to be Talbot over there to go and take the corner. Slough need to kind of weather this storm. We have played 26 minutes and it remains Dunstable 1, Slough 0. Slough defending at the moment in deep inside their own box, curled in, and it's almost
they're watching it.
There's no clear ownership, and it's Marsh edge of the box to pull the trigger. He slides it through very reprieve, and I think he got another touch, but I think Marsh is claiming it, and Slough fall a second goal behind in the 27th minute.
And poor defending again, absolutely terrible. The ball came in, and the Slough defence just watched the ball. None of them challenged for it. The ball came out, they failed to clear it.
Yeah, the ball came all the way across onto the far side and it hit Mackenzie Blue, who was up against Guy Hollis, and then it kind of ricocheted the edge of the box, and then Marsh smacked it through a crowd of players low, and it got a deflection, and it went past Williams, and Slough are 2 goals down. Very similar to St Neots. They've started in that sort of vein, haven't they?
And there's no leadership on the pitch either. Ben Edwards should be shouting at his team to maybe be a bit more proactive in the game. There's nothing coming from them whatsoever. They're even taking their time. I think there's a substitution on the far hand side. There's an injury to Mackenzie Lowe. He's actually got an inhaler. Just taking a breath on an inhaler. So
hopefully that isn't serious for him. As Adam Martin plays the ball back to Tom Moran in the right back position. Slough trailing 2 goals in the first 27 minutes. Once again, they're looking down the trigger. There's a free run through for Mackenzie Blue. 30 yards from goal, pulls the trigger, closed down by Guy Hollis, and Slough just need to get some composure.
Yeah, Wharton's still down injured.
He seems to be getting up though. Finally Marsh kicks the ball out, and
is he going to get a booking? Guy Hollis?
Guy Hollis is going to get a booking. Or is it Billy Jeffrey? Billy Jeffrey's going to get a booking. I'm not quite sure what for, but in the 28th minute, Billy Jeffreys, perhaps he just did something off the ball. But it's not been Slough's afternoon so far. If you're late joining us, Dan Reid went off early injured, and he's been replaced by Gherkin Gochman.
I don't understand what he's given.
The referee's assistant on this near side is holding his flag up. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. No, the players seem a little bit uncertain.
It's a throw into Slough.
Yeah.
And they're obviously just going to throw the ball back.
But this was for the injury that the injury that wasn't. Is he going to throw the ball back? Ryan Parsons is going to clip the ball back sportingly, and he's clipped the ball back as Marsh knocked it out for.
And you can just see the difference. Marsh, number 11 for Dunstable. He's the captain. He's sitting there. He's talking to his team. He's encouraging them. And Slough just haven't got that in their team whatsoever.
As the Bulls again, Hollis out-jumped by the smaller figure of Wharton. Hollis certainly isn't in good form at the moment, and Moran chips the ball forward, and Chris Henry's got a hell of a task to go and chase and shut down Smith back there. And once again, Dunstable play a long ball forward. Hollis launches one forward. Ed Smith manages to control it. He's going to look to set Gochman away, but it's a heavy touch by Smith, and it came off his shin and split the 2 Slough players, and it's symptomatic of the afternoon that they're just not purple to purple, are they?
Whatsoever. And again, I don't understand it myself. This is a fairly good pitch today to be playing football on. It's fairly flat. It's got a lot of grass on it, and Slough are just continuing with the ball over the box rather than keep it on the floor. And Dunstable keep it on the floor and being the better team. And Mackenzie Lowe has just come 15 yards as the striker, and not one centre back's gone with him.
No, the ball currently back in with Blackett in the just inside his own half for the Dunstable defence, and they fire a long ball forward into the Slough defence, which is dealt with by Jeffrey. Ben Edwards picks it up in the midfield, plays it off to Sean Fraser. Fraser back to
played it on the floor.
This is so much better. They're playing it around. Adam Martin now sweeps the ball out to left back Parsons, just inside his own half. Now he's looking for another option. Now Adam Martin shows, but there's still a lot of pressure being played by Dunstable off the ball. And Adam Martin's had 2 or 3 touches. He's lost the ball to Marsh, but Adam Martin's still battling and gives Marsh a little shove. But through comes Talbot, and Adam Martin's having a good old slash, but the ball's played through. And Wharton's through clear, and he's down in the far right corner with 2 or 3 players around him, and it's held it up well for Watkin. Dunstable really asking questions. A good challenge coming from Gochman, but Watkin is really sharp, and they're trying to get the ball back in play really quickly, as Watkin does.
I can't see who's marking who.
No, there doesn't appear to be a lot, as Marsh cynically blocked there by Martin, but no foul given. Back now as Slough try and clear their lines, but Dunstable look very, very comfortable playing into the conditions. It must be said, I think the wind has dropped a little bit now. You can't quite feel it just as much, but but Dunstable look comfortable with captain in the middle of the pitch there. It's
good play by Dunstable.
Marsh out to Bailey, and Bailey's had a hell of a run. He's into the far corner, and Parsons will just put a bit of pressure on him and tries to clip the ball around. But they're doing what Slough should be doing to them. They're blocking them in, and Marsh once again, who's captain today, is looking to take the throw short. I don't know whether he's throwing that in or just throwing that down the line. As Marsh is in the right wing position, heavy, clumsy challenge by Gockman, and it'll be a foul to Dunstable there. Once again, a set piece there from which last time they scored.
We'll just see if the Slough defence want to watch this one come in and just see where it lands rather than actually try and defend it for once. But we'll see how it goes. It's going to be Talbot for Dunstable who's going to put this one into the middle.
As it's going to be either Talbot or Henry. It looks like Henry's probably going to have it. As Talbot steps away from it. Henry with an outswing and two-man Slough wall. Right-hand edge of the pitch, whips it in low. It's all the way across the goal, and again, it could have been a shot there for, I think it was one of the fullbacks, for centre-back. I think it was Long King who was in there.
Tom Moran was up against him, and Tom's nowhere near.
Ben Ed's now through, potentially. There's some good defending, though, there by left-back Smith, and Smith against Smith, and the Dunstable Smith comes out on top of that particular battle as Gockman tries to clear the ball forward, but Dunstable winning the 50-50s. Long King stayed forward, and Adam Martin have a big old battle in there. Ben Ed was appealing for something, but it's then through to the feet of Wharton again, who's having a fantastic first half. He's got
4 players around him and still holds the ball off.
And Dunstable just quite happy now and content to play the ball. They're camped in the Slough half at the moment, and Watkins tries to play a ball around the corner, but it's cut out well there this time by Adam Martin. Long ball forward direct by Billy Jeffries, but it's out the ground, only threatening the refreshments hut as we go into, we've played 33 minutes. Slough trail 2-0 already, Ade, and what do you make of it? It's just a bit deflating, isn't it?
Slough are absolutely terrible today. They've got no kind of way of playing the game. It's just let's hit the ball high and long and hope that we can get onto the wind. And Dunstable just showing you can play football on a pitch like this, and Slough can play that kind of football. They're just not doing it.
No, and as there's a free kick awarded to Slough on the halfway line, something goes in their favour, and they'll be looking to try and take their time and set this up properly, get some of the bigger players forward, as the referee's just picking exactly where the ball wants to be put, but it's going to be Tom Moran looking to deliver it. Actually, he's leaving it. He's going to go forward, and Ryan Parsons is going to have a little look. Slough do need to get something back into this game before half-time, ideally, as all the players are lining up on the edge of the 18-yard box. The ball just in front of the Slough dugout, wind at his back.
Yeah, Dunstable's still a tall team, though.
Ryan Parsons shows him where he's going. It's flicked in. It's flicked on, and it's going to be out for a Slough corner.
No, it's not.
And it's just kept in the right corner by Bailey. Ball's not going very far, and Adam Martin and Watkins having a good old battle in there, and Bailey comes across, flicks the ball off, and the linesman here does a very particular signal, as he's almost textbook, isn't it? It's almost semaphore, you'd say. But Slough have a long throw down in the far left-hand corner. Guy Hollis just chips the ball into his hands and looks to take it, leans back against the railing. Slough's tall players stay forward, only the Fraser and Parsons back. As Hollis fires the throw in towards the near post, it's bouncing around everywhere. It's edge of the box, and it's driven in, and it's a great strike by Adam Martin. He doesn't celebrate at all. He looks frustrated. He looks very frustrated.
Frustrated is a polite way of saying.
But Slough are back in this game in the 34th minute with a wonder strike with the ball. It just sat up nicely, half volley, edge of the box, smashed it into the top corner, and it came out of nothing really.
No, it's a cracking finish, and keeper was well beaten, but the problem is Slough defensively today have again been poor, and every time Dunstable attack they do look like they're going to score. So, and it came from the fact that Slough actually played the ball on the floor, and that's how they got the throw in on the far hand side, but actually playing the ball on the ground and playing some football. So
yeah, so hopefully that will improve Slough's mood as we go into the 35th minute. They have pulled a goal back, a superb goal from the edge of the box set piece by Adam Martin, who really hit that ball sweetly as yet another glider gets towed up over this air down near Dunstable. But once again, it's through to Henry, edge of the box. Slough not clearing their lines now, but Adam Martin, goal scorer, flicks the ball through to Chris Henry, gets the ball back, takes an extra touch. Slough attacking in numbers. Unluckily, the ball couldn't get through, and now Parsons is out of position slightly, and Slough might have to defend with numbers as the ball's chipped in behind Guy Hollis, but Williams is there to deal with it. Left-footed, decent kick outside of his area, really good clearance, and it bounces over all the players, and it's going to fall back to Long, and Long tries to hook it forward, but Slough have got a little bit of energy now. Martin takes a touch, plays it nicely along the grass to Parsons. Parsons flicks the ball into Ed Smith, who's got a little bit of space, needs to take a touch. He just stumbled at the crucial moment, takes a couple of touches. It just doesn't seem to be happening for Ed. He keeps on coming off his shins and knees.
I did say that Adam Martin needs to be playing further forwards. He's For me, he's a better player going forwards than Ben Edwards is. He did that with the goal, and he's come back in and he's sat back in the holding position again. And Ben Edwards is the furthest of the midfield players forwards.
As the ball's coming through, and Billy Jeffries just gets out jumped to it by Wharton. Slough going into the final 10 minutes of this first half.
Charlie Henry up against Blackett.
He's in offside position, but they're trailing 2-1, and it's been a fairly even half, really. Certainly, Slough started the first 10-15 minutes up until the first goal was scored. Slough were in the ascendancy, you'd have to say, although they were pumping long balls forward.
Yeah, I mean, the only effort they had was the one from Ed that was, 30 yards out, tried to lob the keeper and went onto the roof, but Dunstable just looked like they're going to score every time they're attacking. Ball's played long.
And it's Billy Jeffries this time who deals with it. Gockman not first to the ball, though, because Henry, who's now back on the right wing, has played it inside to Tull, but Dunstable happy to try and keep the ball and take the sting out of Slough's tails for a little bit, with Bailey having to go all the way home.
Well played there by Adam Martin, chasing, first of all, Talbot and then the right back. As the goalkeeper skies this one.
He looks down at the ground. He looks down at the ground, but I don't think there was anything wrong with the ground there. It just bobbled and he hit it as Henry just gets in the way there a little
Parsons
bit.
needs an option. There's no option.
As Adam Martin comes to show for the ball, Parsons takes the ball down the line, looks to play it down, and it looked to hit Henry in the hand, and now Parsons is upset as Henry starts attacking for Dunstable, spreads it to Watkins. Watkins cuts the ball back, just takes a touch, and it's now out with left back Smith for Dunstable. Looking
up
with
against two
Slough players in, decides to go back to Marsh, and Slough just slightly eager, but Ben Edwards gives it away. Watkins doing a good dirty job in the middle of midfield, but Sean Fraser picks his pocket, and now there's plenty of battling going on there, and Watkins ain't going to like that. He's in the referee's ear and he's shouting and screaming at him, but
Gockman's
it's played
got
out
the
to Gockman,
chance.
centre of the pitch. He tries to cut a ball out blind. He needed to have a look, and it was cut out by Henry, and Henry for Dunstable plays the ball out, and Bailey's going to pick this up, and Bailey's driving towards the corner, but he's had a heavy touch and it's out.
That was because the linesman was in his way. The linesman was actually in his way as he tried to head the ball and keep it in, and then run off the pitch to get to that ball. But again, Slough just Gockman had the chance on that. He didn't look.
He just tried to do it too quickly, too casually, and. The tempo's been a lot better for Slough in this last 5 minutes or so as we head towards half time. Adam Martin flicks the ball on. Chris Henry was just again the wrong side of Blackett, and he's caught offside again. But there's hope, isn't there, for Slough while it stays at 2-1?
He's got to look along the line and see where Blackett is. He's up against Blackett, who's a tall player. Chris Henry's a small player, and he's not looking where he's going. He's just constantly looking at where the ball is. No awareness of where the centre back is. Just got to be a little bit smarter.
So we've got play going to get back underway with May just inside his own half, going to clear the ball off the land. It's held up a little bit in the wind, which has dropped in the direction of Mackenzie Lowe, and he heads it back, and it's still Dunstable attacking down the right hand side with Talbot in that corner, but Parsons tries to clear the ball, but it's going to be picked up by Watkins, tries to play a nice little 1-2, but it's won by Ben Edwards, who just seems a little bit off the pace today, as it's inside to Bailey. Dunstable now trying to play a little bit more area. Slough putting them under a bit more pressure. First touch by Parsons. Ed Smith flicks the ball on, and it has Blackett stumbling, but unfortunately that's where, if you had a pair of strikers working well with each other with telepathy, they may have a little bit of a better effect. But I think Dunstable quite happy just to take the sting out of the game for a few minutes here. Do you, Ade?
Yeah, just a little. Slough looking a little bit better as they're going forwards.
As we're in the 40th minute here, it's Dunstable 2, Slough 1. Adam Martin getting a goal back for the Rebels after Dunstable took a 2.
Ed's his hamstring again.
Ed's hurt his knee. It's his knee. As Ed's hurt his knee, Adam Martin's just done a foul in the centre of the park, which will stop playing. Ed needs some treatment. It's his left ankle that Ed's going to go down holding. And Slough don't have many more forward options on the bench. They've got a debutant who they could put on in
Joe Grant,
but
or Oscar Betts.
Yeah, or Oscar Betts. But Ed Smith just hopping around.
George Short comes on as an emergency centre forward.
George Short scores the winner. No, as Dunstable looked to trade and play the ball from this free kick, Talbot stood over it, left-footed. He's going to curl it in. He's curled it across the far. It's headed flick to one, but not with enough pace there. And easy meat for Williams to clear this ball. And he's not in any hurry at the moment. I think, conscious of Ed Smith's injury, he's going to look in the direction down the left wing. And that's a great ball off the floor to Gockman. Gockman could have flicked it through, but he's taken a couple of touches, and he's going to head the ball to Chris Henry, who Henry takes a first touch, just flicks it off, and Dunstable battling back in this right back position to try and clear the ball long, and they do calmly, and it's with Marsh in the centre circle, and Fraser's battling around with it, trying to get a foot in, but Marsh is holding him off well, and good Cruyff turn by Marsh, and he's now looking to spread the ball out left, but it's straight through to Tom Moran, who's immediately under pressure from Smith.
And I think that's why the clash of the Slough playing in purple and Dunstable playing in white.
And Ed's fired up, should we say?
He is.
Ed looks fired up, and he's
But
and
Marsh played the ball there, and he looked like he'd picked out Tom Moran as if it was a Dunstable player. It was a good pass to him, and
I think to be fair, I think he was trying to play it over to Smith of a Dunstable variety, but it may well be that he didn't spot Tom Moran, but he's quite a difficult figure to miss. He's quite a tall, strong lad, and the referee's just given the free kick to Dunstable on the halfway line. As he going to the final 5 minutes as Billy Jeffries wins that header, and Adam Martin's going to try and clear it high and long, and Ed Smith's now underneath it, and Ed Smith easily outjumped. There's a little bit of afters after that ball's gone, and Blackett, but it's been out with Ed Smith again on the ground. He's trying to hold it up, plays it out to Tom Moran. Tom Moran takes a touch, and he's smashed that far too long, but Gockman's going to try and get after that, but I think the wind's going to beat him to it, and Gockman's just about kept it in.
He's won a throw in
that far side, which Guy Hollis, last time this happened, Slough
scored. Just gone down holding his ankle as well.
So Slough
right in the corner.
Slough could really do without some more injuries, as we are in the 42nd minute.
Have you bought your boots
here,
just in case?
Baker's wearing his boots, which is more of a worry.
I spoke to him earlier. Said he won't come on.
I spoke to him earlier, and he said
unless it needs to roll the ground.
I spoke to him earlier, and he said it was very, 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 very windy. Apparently, as Hollis fires the ball in, it's on the edge of the penalty spot. Falls this time,
Adam again with the same one as the corner,
and it's this time it was blocked as Talbot came out, and he hit it, struck it sweetly again. Are you all right there?
Yeah,
am I spitting in your eyes?
Something in my eye. Yeah.
Am I spitting in it, or is it just that you're getting emotional, Aid?
I can't believe we've had a shot. Oh,
as Chris Henry for Slough is going to have this corner, and the locals want some. The Rebels start to make a little bit of noise. It's Chris Henry in swinging. His first effort wasn't the greatest. Let's see if he can do this. This is too much air under it. It's too deep, and Gockman scrambles to get it. He fires it in, and it's well cleared by Dunstable. But Ben Edwards is trying to hook the ball back in now, but he's going to be out-muscled there in the middle of midfield. And now Dunstable on the attacker, pushing on with right-back Bailey in a really advanced position. He's driving forward at Ryan Parsons. Midway inside the Slough half, he chips a ball across in the direction of Talbot. The wind's holding it up, and Tom Moran goes through, does well, and defends strongly, and fires the ball forward. And then it's dummied by temporary midfielder Mackenzie Blue, who is back in Dunstable's defence, and Marsh controls it. Decent touch off to Bailey. Bailey puts an up and under. That's a Gary Owen in rugby terms, and it's
captured by Luke Williams.
Straight into the arms of Luke Williams, and I think that Dunstable will be looking towards this half-time whistle much more than Slough is.
A couple of minutes to go to half-time. It's Dunstable 2, Slough 1.
I think there's going to be a little bit of injury time, as it's well headed away there by Bailey from the right back position, and Slough looking to try and defend and get this ball clear as Parsons chooses to play the ball to Gockman's feet. Gockman sets it back to Parsons. Parsons tries to play a ball through to Chris Henry, but it's cut out by Bailey. But Slough trying to play football, keep it on the grass a bit.
That's what I told them to do.
Well, they're listening, aren't they, Aid?
Well, someone's got to be listening to the broadcast.
Someone has.
There must be someone somewhere listening.
As Parsons picks up the ball, plays it to Henry. Henry round the corner to Gockman. Gockman's got a little bit of space. Passes it back to Ryan Parsons. Adam Martin in plenty of space, although he's going to be under pressure from Wharton. And Adam Martin does well. Gockman's going to get an opportunity to try and get the ball into the box. He's cut the ball in, and it's towards the far post. And it's a great header. Great defensive header there. I think it was by Blackett, who flicked the ball on. And it looked like one of those that could have been glancing towards the top corner, but the wind took it, and it was out. But that was much, much better play from Slough.
I think Blackett's lucky. It was a good defensive header, but like you say, the wind took that away from the top corner of the goal, and that looked like it may have been going in. But corner on the far side for Chris Henry to take. And
Poole have equalised at home to Hitchin. So it is Poole 1, Hitchin 1, another later score. As Corby, we still understand, are leading at Truro. Chris Henry with a corner, in swinging fast. His two deliveries so far haven't been great. He needs to hit this with a little bit less juice if he can. And he strikes this low. This is a better delivery, but Watkins at the front post heads it clear, and then held back by Fraser in the direction of Henry. And Tom Moran gets up well, and Henry has a good touch. And he gets chopped down. He's carried on. He's got good feet, and he smashed my car. My car's over there. I think my car's over in that direction. I reckon
that ball's still bouncing all the way down to Luton. That one.
That wasn't the best. Going back, I think the referee could have just been doing with
I thought he could have played it, but
could have had a free kick then. Yeah, but after the shot, he could have then pulled it back. Do you think? Do you think that's too much?
And then put it back, is he?
No.
As the locals just give the.
as the referee's assistant just near us is just getting a little bit of abuse for not getting the ball back into play very quickly. As we're in the first minute of additional time, I suspect there might be a couple.
Ray's mucking around with the ball. He's trying to find a blade of glass. There's loads of them in there. Get on and kick it, mate.
As we're going towards the half-time whistle, it's Dunstable 2, Slough 1. Dunstable starting quite strongly, but Slough playing in with a strong wind at their backs this half, and Ben Edwards trying to jump well, but it's well won in the middle by Talbot. Talbot smashes the ball round the corner, and Williams is easily off his line nice and quickly in his bright orange
Mackenzie
kit.
Lowe was on his bike, and after that one, and just slightly too far in front of him.
And Williams, this time off the floor, smashes it in the direction of Adam Martins, who's taken quite a forward position. Bailey was seemingly fouling him. Time for Billy Jeffries, but he heads it on in the direction of Gockman. And it's going to find Gockman the wrong side of Bailey, and it's hit Gockman on the back. And Gockman's trying to hold up the ball up against Bailey. Far corner, cuts back. He's crossed the ball in low this time. Well cleared at the nearest pass by Long King, but out to Billy Jeffries, who plays the ball out to Ryan Parsons. Slough penning Dunstable in at the moment, but this time Watkins tries to clear out to the halfway line. This time it's to Wharton's feet, and Wharton's smashing. He's against 4 Slough defenders, and Guy Hollis is in his wake, and he squares the ball out towards in the direction of Marsh. Marsh, little flick behind Smith this time, and Fraser, who's been a little bit ineffectual, is trying to shut him down in that left back position. Dunstable definitely looking for the half-time whistle as we play 47 minutes here, but they look on the attack here as Mackenzie away from goal, passes out to Henry. Henry back to Bailey. Bailey inside to Talbot, gets the ball back. Bailey again now tries to click the ball down the line. It's blocked, and Parsons will take a little touch, get it under control. Perhaps Slough might have one more chance of an attack here. Is Gockman fires the ball forward, and it's almost
Long
King has had a great first half, and he carves the ball out to Smith. The referee has a look at his whistle. This is the half-time score, and it is Dunstable 2, Slough Town 1. An entertaining game of football.
Yeah, it's kind of livened up a little bit. I think Dunstable, mostly the better team. There's a couple of Dunstable players just getting some breath there, stretching their legs at half time. They put a lot in down this side.
Yeah, but the news as you leave it at the end of this first half is Dunstable 2, Slough 1. Please come back to us in the second half and join us. But we'll leave you with an interview that Bakes did just before the game, and we'll come back to you with some half-time shortly. Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager Neil Baker. How are you, Neil?
Yeah, good, John. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. We've arrived at Dunstable nice and early. It's sunny, it's bright. You looking forward to a good afternoon?
Yeah, I am. It's obviously less pressure than when we came here last year. When I think if we'd won the game, we would have gone top of the league. And obviously there was quite a feisty affair here last year, and more so I think because of a few decisions that went against us. But no, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough one for us today. You know, we've got 3 suspended. We've still got a few injured as well. So we are light, and unfortunately there's not an awful lot we can do about it, because it's not like we can bring in any other players or anything like that, because obviously the deadline's gone. So we are a little bit threadbare, should we say, but you know, the starting 11, you know, are more than good enough to go and compete.
Yeah, and who has earned the right to wear the jersey today?
Yeah, we're going with the 4-4-2. Tom around at right back. Billy hopefully will come through a fitness test. Him and Guy in the middle. Obviously Reece is suspended now for the rest of the season. Ryan Parsons at left back. Chris Henry on the left. It'll be Sean Fraser on the right. With Ben and Adam Martin in the middle, and Eddie and Dan Reed up front. And obviously with Scott and Jake suspended, and Clergy and Searcy still out injured.
So Sean doing a little bit of a different job for you today?
Yeah, it is, but he's done that really well for us a number of times actually this season. He's got bundles of energy, Sean, you know, and sometimes, you know, he's actually potentially better going forward than he is defensively. You know, he's very, very good going forwards, and no, it's a role that we think he can play, and as I say, he's played it a number of times this season already, so yeah, it's something that he should be comfortable with.
And what are you hoping from today's performance?
Listen, we just want a performance, really. We want the 11 that are starting to go and work as hard as they can, and you know, try and defend right and do the right things. To be honest, you know, you're never going to sit there and say we're going to get a win. You know, Dunstable picked up in their last 4 games. I think they're unbeaten in their last 4, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough afternoon, but it's one that we hope that we can get some points from.
Yeah, and both teams don't really have that much to play for. Dunstable's sitting kind of comfortably 13th, and you know, they're not going up, they're not going down.
No.
Are you worried it might have that end of season feel?
Yeah, I mean, you always worry about that. I mean, at the end of the day, there is unfortunately nothing to play for. I mean, these are times where the only thing you are playing for is 3 points, but there's no, you're not going to go up, you're not going to go down, and there's no financial incentive to finish higher up in the league or anything. I guess the only thing is pride and wanting to win games. I mean,
and
ourselves,
does it give you the opportunity to look at the players and just actually kind of think about next season and think about?
It doesn't. Because unfortunately you still want to be as strong as you can in every game, and you want to try and get results. I mean, myself and John, we're very much people that want to win games of football, and so you don't want to necessarily weaken yourself. But yeah, there's one or two that we're obviously looking at, in terms of next season, and will they be with us, and whatever else. And the lads aren't stupid; they know that. They know that certain aspects haven't been good enough this season, and certain aspects have. I mean, it is a really, really tough league. I think I've been saying that probably since day one, that every game you have is really tough, and it's definitely proved that.
And the league's going to be tough again next year. Some sides that will both come down and be promoted into it are going to be real challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll probably, if anything, it'll probably be stronger next year. You look at the likes of Kettering and Merthyr. I mean, we obviously know Kettering well from last season. They're a big money side. They've got a lot of money there and big crowds, and they're a conference club in reality. So they're going to be strong. Merthyr were, for me, probably the best side that we've played all season. Thought they were absolutely fantastic, and they have the benefit of playing on the 3G. You look at sides coming down. I don't know what Farnborough will be like. Leamington, if they come in, Brackley, they're big sides that are really, really going to strengthen the division, and it's going to be tough. But we've got to do the job, myself and John, in the summer to bring in a few players to improve us. I can't sit here and say, oh, we're going to go and get in the playoffs or anything like that, because actually we've got no right to get in the playoffs. But what we have got, and what we will expect, is lots of character, lots of heart, and a side that will work hard for Slough Town.
And who do you think is going to get promoted from the league this season? Obviously, we're getting to the business end of the season. There's some big games. Every game's a big game, but particularly Truro Corby stands out today.
Yeah, I think to be honest, if Corby go to Truro today and win, I think they'll win it. They've still got to play Weymouth away, and obviously Poole, last game of the season. I don't think Weymouth are in any form at all. In fact, they're probably in worse form than we are. They've got a danger of slipping out of the playoffs. So I would fancy Corby to go to Weymouth and beat them. As I said, it'll be a little bit down today on the Truro Corby game. I think if Corby can win it, they will go to Poole the last game of the season. I think they'll beat them. Because I think sometimes football is very mental, and all of a sudden Corby have got the momentum and Poole have lost it. They've lost 3 games on a bounce. I think they've lost 7 games all season, and you're coming into the final hurdle, and they've lost 3 on a bounce. So they'll be thinking about that, and unfortunately that starts to play in your mind.
Talking of hurdles, have you got any tips for the national?
Absolutely not. I know nothing about horse racing, and I'm not even having a go this year, because I think I've go every single year that I've been able to, and I've never won a penny. So I think I'm leaving it this year.
Well, let's hope that the football goes better this afternoon and Slough come away with some points on the board. But thank you very much for your time, and good luck this afternoon.
Cheers, John.
Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager Neil Baker. How are you, Neil?
Yeah, good, John. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. We've arrived at Dunstable nice and early. It's sunny, it's bright. You looking forward to a good afternoon?
Yeah, I am. It's obviously less pressure than when we came here last year, when I think if we'd won the game we would have gone top of the league, and obviously there was quite a feisty affair here last year, and more so I think because of a few decisions that went against us. But no, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough one for us today. We've got 3 suspended. We've still got a few injured as well. So we are light, and unfortunately there's not an awful lot we can do about it, because it's not like we can bring in any other players or anything like that, because obviously the deadline's gone. So we are a little bit threadbare, should we say. But
Good afternoon, welcome back to Dunstable here. Creasey Park, home of Dunstable Town, and also the home of AFC Dunstable. For those of you just joining us, the half-time score is Dunstable 2, Slough Town 1. Dunstable scoring through Wharton and Marsh, and Slough scoring through Adam Martin. And we're just, before it blows away, I'll just try and run through you the half-times from the Southern Evo Sticks Southern League Premier, as we have them at the moment. We have Arlesey 0, Poulton Rovers 0, Banbury United 1, Weymouth 0, Biddeford 0, Biggleswade Town 1, Burnham 0, Redditch United 2, Chippenham Town 1, Cambridge City 1, Dorchester Town 0, St Neots 0, Dunstable you obviously know, Histon 1, Cirencester 0, Hungerford 0, Cheshire United 0, Poole 1, Hitchin 1, and Truro 0, Corby 1. So looks like Corby are going to try and extend their lead at the top as it stands at the moment. We'll just give you the just let me put this paper down before it blows away. So the story of the game was that Dan Reid's Slough Town career again stutters after his two goals against St Neots. He got a smack in the head, not sure with what. He had to go off injured after 5 minutes. Gherkin Gockman came on for him, and Dunstable have been maybe the better team. They've been trying to get through the Slough back four, very much like Hungerford did on Monday, trying to get past the two, and the Slough defence started brightly, but unfortunately Dunstable came through with Wharton firing in past Williams, and then from a corner where Slough just watched the ball, it came through to Chris Marsh, and Marsh finished underneath Luke Williams, a sparing dive to make it 2-0. And then Adam Martin from a Slough throw-in was headed onto him just on the edge of the area, and he's volleyed that one straight into the top corner, giving the goalkeeper for Dunstable, Charlie May, no chance. So John's just trying to, I think he's hurdling the chairs that we're by, trying to get back into position. We do apologise if you do get some kind of break-up in our broadcast today. We are actually using a portable power supply, because there's no power supply anywhere near the far stand which we're in, and we can't go on the other side because there's no power points on the other side either. So if you are finding that our broadcast is breaking up, what you got there? Pineapple? Healthy? No, there's no cakes today, is there? And it's good. Yeah, Slough have just Slough players have come out early, and no further substitution by the looks of it for the Rebels. They did start to play a little bit better football in the second half. Second part of the first half, yeah. We haven't started the second half yet, have we? No, not at all. Not at all. And Dunstable still in the dressing room. And the Slough fans having to go down the far side and not behind the goal, as that part's closed off. And John's just enjoying his pineapple chunks. I'm looking for some gliders. No, there's not. Dunstable are just starting to come out now as well. So, would you like me to go for? You just. I keep being told off here. Let me go to get the piece of paper. So, I'll go through the teams as they are at the moment. We're just waiting to see if Dunstable have any substitutions. So, we'll go through the Slough side, who are in all purple. 1 is Luke Williams, 2 Tom Moran, 3 Ryan Parsons, 4 Guy Hollis, 5 Billy Jeffries, 6 and captain Ben Edwards, 7 Sean Fraser, 8 Adam Martin, 9 Dan Reid is substituted for 14 Gherkin Gottman, 10 is Ed Smith, 11 is Chris Henry, 3 remaining subs for the Rebels, 12 George Short, 15 Joe Grant, and 16 is Oscar Betts. There was a couple of players for Dunstable who were stretching at the end of the first half, but there doesn't seem to be any substitutions for them at the moment. So their team is 1 Charlie May, 2 Elliot Bailey, 3 Charlie Smith, 4 David Long King, 5 Shane Blackett, 6 Danny Talbot, 7 Adam Watkins, 8 Charlie Henry, 9 Jamal Mackenzie Lowe, 10 is Gary Wharton, and the captain is number 11 Chris Marsh. Their subs today are Gary Jones, 14 David Lynn, 15 Kai Garner, and 16 is player manager Tony Fontanelle.
And you've done the half-time scores? You have?
I've done half-time scores.
Okay, good. Excellent work. Well done, Ade.
That's okay. And so we've got 2, maybe 3 games. We're just waiting for the referee and the linesman to check the games. We still haven't heard any decision on the Banbury game yet.
No.
So as it stands at the moment, we have 2 games
Stop
left after today. We will be at home to Frome next Saturday, and then the final away game of the season to Dorchester Town.
Do you want me to do the first bit and then you do the second bit this
whatever.
time?
Whatever.
Yeah, let's do it that way round for a change, so that you get to call the final shots, as it were. You're going to put your headphones on. As Slough now shooting from left to right, Adam Martin fires a ball into the corner for Gherkin Gottman to get after, but it's headed back well by Bailey in the direction of May, and May, with the sun at his back, drives the ball forward, and this is going to be interesting to see how the wind does this. It's a great long kick, and Tom Moran underneath it gets a good header on it. Adam Martin flicks it in the direction of Ben Edwards. Ben Edwards hooks the ball forward towards Chris Henry on the halfway line, but it's picked up by Dunstable, and Watkin tries to chip a ball out to Captain Marsh, and Marsh puts his thumb up in signal for that he was appreciative of the ball, but it wasn't quite accurate enough, was it, Ade?
No, it wasn't indeed. So no further changes to either team as it stands at the moment. And Slough will do well for this second half to control the movement and pace of Gary Wharton, the number 10 for Dunstable, who's been by far the best player on the pitch at the moment.
And surely the strategy has got to be to keep the ball down for Slough, going into the wind as it is, as another ball gets played through into the corner behind Slough. And again, it would be Guy Hollis to probably go over there and try and take it up. But surely if you were Neil Baker then in the change room at half-time, having seen how Dunstable countered it and played quite well, especially in the second half of the first half, they kept the ball down and played it around nicely, didn't they?
Yep, and that's how they should play most of their games, to be honest, is keep the ball on the floor and play to their footballing strengths.
As Guy Hollis threw that one, I'm not sure whether it went in there, but Adam Martin picks up the ball on the halfway line under pressure from Captain Marsh, has an air shot, and Adam Martin's certainly pushing himself about. He's got himself wound up. Ben Edwards capitalises on a poor touch, but then himself gives the ball away, and Dunstable try and fire a ball through, and it's Parsons clips that ball in the air, and well in there by Gockman to just take it off the head of Watkins, and Ben Ed takes a touch, puts it to Tom Moran, does well to drive the ball forward, and it's
lovely control by Adam.
Great control by Adam Martin to Ben Ed, and Ben Ed then slides the ball out left in the direction of Parsons. He needs to be on his bike to keep it, and he does, and he passes the ball down the line. Slough starting brightly, nice flip by Gockman, and back by Parsons to Henry to Parsons, but it's good play there, but broken up by Watkin, and now Watkin tries to send the ball on the far side off to Wharton, and Wharton now turns, but he's got 3 or 4 Slough players on it. He doesn't quite deal with it, and then there's a bit of miscommunication, and Mackenzie having to do some decent running there, and it's clipped forward, but repelled well by Blackett. Blackett smacks the ball forward, but it's out of play, and that frantic period just calms down, but Slough some decent interplay there.
Yep, decent interplay, just unfortunately Chris Henry didn't get enough on the pass to knock it back to Ryan Parsons, and but unfortunately, but it's better play, and that's what I get disappointed with. I think Slough can play like that, and they just don't do it enough.
As Guy Hollis tries to fire the ball down the line, it was held up in the wind, and Adam Martin flicks it on nicely, hooked away by Blackett, and it's once again out, and Guy Hollis will repeat as necessary as a few of the local fans just make their way past in front of us to our right, just having a cigarette and a beer, as Guy Hollis fires the ball down the line, and this time it has gone in there, and Blackett fires one and it clips it up in the air. Ed Smith's going to use his body to try and get it under, try and hold off Blackett, and Blackett just nudges in there. Now Marsh is going to have an opportunity to run with the ball at his feet, cuts back inside, plays it to Watkins' feet. Watkins has a simple touch, passes it through to Mackenzie Lowe, and now it's flicked out wide, but it's straight to Parsons, and Parsons miss-hit pass finds Ben Edwards middle of the pitch, and Ben Edwards just under a bit of pressure does well and finds Tom Moran, sun at his eyes, clips the ball forward towards the feet of Ed Smith, but it's Ed Smith appreciative of that, and Dunstable just slowing the ball down, wind at their back, and it looks for a massive crossfield ball. They obviously have a targeting high crossfield balls to put Slough under a bit of pressure, Ade, do you think? Yeah,
and Watkins just gives a push there to concede a foul there, and Slough trying to take it quickly. Yeah, they do seem to be... They've fallen into the trap that Slough did the first half and realised thinking maybe playing to the wind and hitting those long... Didn't work for Slough, apart from on one occasion, so hopefully Slough can combat
you got to fancy that if this went all the way through to the goalkeeper, because Williams has come an awful long way out of his goal. He's on the centre circle and inside his own half. He's driving the ball in the direction of Adam Martin. Adam Martin fighting to get under it. He flicks the ball well into the box. There's nice Slough players there. It's been allowed to bounce, and Chris Henry nearly got kicked in the head there. And then there's still not a good goalkeeper, and as May just has a little bobble at it. But you just got to wonder that if Williams miskicked that, it'd be prime target for Charlie Adams territory there, wouldn't he?
He would indeed, but... And again, look at
Guy Hollis just getting himself in a little bit of muddle against Wharton on the far side, but the ball bounces through and luckily finds Williams, and he just calms things down and puts the ball down just just at his feet, looking to perhaps pick out Gurkan Gockman down the left. He sliced that one into the middle of the park there, and it's bounced up, and Marsh has headed on his way. Tom Moran's got a bit of time, decides to hoof the ball forward, and Ed Smith gambling on that ball, and
it's thrown for Slough on this near-hand
don't
side.
look to see that comfortable, do they, with the wind at their back? It's surprising. They just don't look quite as comfortable as or as composed as they did in the first half. As Ben Edwards, bit of a telegraph pass, but gets away with it to Fraser on the right. Back to Moran, and Moran does an awful pass infield to Watkin, but then Watkin does an equally awful pass, which puts Smith
Henry
on that far side, and a little bit of pressure, but long ball forward in the direction of Wharton, and Hollis comes across well, does some tidying up, and Dunstable look like they're going to be dangerous on the break.
Yeah, I think that Sean Fraser's got to do a little bit more this second half. His first half, he didn't get forwards enough for me, and he's got to come through and attack the left back, Charlie Smith for Dunstable, and he's got a lot of space. So
Dunstable currently camped in the Slough half, just on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it's a free kick there. I think it was Guy Hollis there. Stepped in, just fouled. I think it was Talbot in there who was just, or was it Wharton? I think it was Wharton just trying to cut in again. So Hollis has been in close proximity. The only player booked so far we understand in the whole game was Billy Jeffrey, wasn't it, in the first half? We're not quite sure exactly what for, but a dangerous position here for Dunstable. They may well fancy a shot from that left side from either Talbot or Henry, and it looks like Henry's now stepped away from it. It's going to be Talbot.
He's jumping into the wall to make it 4 in the wall.
And he's left Adam Martin, so Adam Martin can go across and mark, but this is going to be driven in towards goal, and it's well held by Williams, and Williams immediately looks to try and get the play back on the way. Just got a little bit of a nudge there from Long as for his troubles, but Williams calms the game down.
He did well to get that ball was played in with some power, and with the wind behind it, he did well to judge the flight and grasp it well.
As Williams clears the ball up over the halfway line. We've played 6 minutes of the second half. It remains Dunstable 2, Slough 1, headed back up to halfway by Billy Jeffries. Ball bouncing around on this hard surface, and Marsh picks it up midway inside the Slough half, flicks it through, and then it's through to Wharton, the referee's assistant, and there's frustration at the moment in the middle by Talbot, because if Wharton hadn't raced after it, the referee's assistant wasn't going to raise his flag, and Slough would have been in a bit of trouble facing a throw deep in their own half.
Yep. But Wharton,
and that's where the rules are just a little bit silly, aren't they? Because Slough have pushed up for that. They've left the ball because they know they're going to get the offside.
And the linesman didn't flag until Wharton actually chased the ball through. Yeah,
which is just not. I think a thing most football fans find frustrating. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome along. Please do contact us at MyFC Rebels Radios. Slough are attacking now with Adam Martin midway inside the half. He's tried to pick up a pass to Ben Edwards, but he's only found Marsh, and then he's desperately trying to have a lunge at Marsh to try to. But the captain for Dunstable's done well. He's tricky, and he's run through, passed it through to his old teammate Watkin now out left, and a bit of a fortuitous touch, and Smith managed just to it'd already gone quite a little way out, and the ball's bounced out over him, and
that's better work by Sean Fraser there. He came over quickly and got across, and I suppose it's difficult for him. He normally plays right back, and he's playing right midfield today. He's got to try and get forwards a little bit more, and it's going to be Guy Hollis to launch this ball further into the area for the Rebels.
But just at the moment, the wind seems to have just dropped a little bit. You don't want to say that too loudly, but he's going to throw the ball down the line, fires it in the direction of Adam Martin. Good touch from Ed Smith, but it's not coming off him quite well, and smashed away long by Smith for Dunstable. Then it's bounced. It definitely bounced off. It absolutely massively bounced off Mackenzie Long, who knew exactly what he was doing. As he has a little bit of a giggle to himself as he's Slough have another opportunity for a long throw.
I think the Slough fans pointed out that it came off him. He knew that, and he was just being a little bit cheeky, shall we say. But
Slough have an attacking opportunity. Guy Hollis in line with the edge of the 18-yard box, right hand side of the pitch. Purple kit, leans back against the green fenced barrier. Next to John Mad Dog, the one of the coaching team from Dunstable in days gone by, who's holding on to one of the match balls. Guy Hollis fires the ball in, flinged in towards the near post, flicked on by Tom Moran. It's bouncing around in there. It's not properly cleared as yet, but then Watkin finally puts boot to ball and puts it nearly into the Dunstable home dugout, which has Yeller stood there, arms crossed, arms folded. And it's unusual to see the Slough management, only one of them over there, with Neil Baker there by himself today, as John Underwood's on personal commitments, which was already known.
There's your glider you're after.
And Sean Fraser just having a little bit of a stretch, which might be a bit of a worry. Also be interesting to see how Gherkin copes with a whole game, as Ryan Parsons tries to clear the ball up the line. Gherkin Gockman picks it up, steps on the ball, and he may have injured himself there. The referee's having a look at him, and he's just going to go over there and have a little look, because that looked nasty, didn't it?
He trod on the ball and kind of fell backwards, and it's kind of one where you could just do your knee, isn't it?
Super
It seems to be
Kev.
okay.
Super Kev is what I'd call prowling down the touchline, isn't he? In his full kit, but he's not needed at this stage, and it's going to be a Slough in front of the Slough flags on that far side. There's going to be another long throw, which Guy Hollis has. He's firing in the direction of Billy Jeffries, but it's bounced over. It's Ed Smith, far end edge of the box. He tries to kill. He's still got the ball at his feet. It's come to Billy Jeffries, edge of the box. He drives one through a crowd of players and just past the left upright, and that was a good opportunity for Slough. But immediately Dunstable are on their way, and they need to be awake because Marsh has got picked up the ball towards the halfway line. He's running at Tom Moran, and across comes Adam Martin. Kicks again at wild air and commits himself, but Marsh simply looking to play the ball through with a bit of composure, plays it into Watkin in the middle of midfield, fires the ball out further right to Henry. Henry tries to get Bailey on his way, but it's decent cut out by Parsons, and now Chris Henry for Slough would play the ball through, and it's Gockman attacking down the far side, pursued by Henry.
He's done well.
But he's beaten Henry, and Gockman's going to try and deliver the ball in. There's unfortunately no one there. It was a decent enough ball in, if only some of the Slough players had attacked it.
I think he's just maybe put too much on it. He's not looked up and realised that the players aren't as far forward. Ed was the furthest one forwards. Chris Henry was a little bit further. He should have maybe just played that one along the ground and would have been a better
But
ball.
positive signs for Slough. They look to
It's
be
good
competing for the
thinking, that
50-50 balls.
He did well, Gookman, on that far side to go past Henry and go towards the box.
So we have played 56 minutes here at Creasey Park. It is Dunstable 2, Slough 1. Slough coming back from 2 goals down with a superb effort from Adam Martin. As it got knocked down to the edge of the box, a right-footed half volley that smashed into the top corner. But Slough playing into a slight wind. Hot conditions now out there for those. And he's just battling for the ball. Tried to put one in behind Blackett, and Blackett's dealt with it well. Helped on its way by Smith. Nice Cruyff turn on the halfway line by Marsh, who's certainly leading by example today. Adam Martin puts a foot in there, and Marsh just intimating that he's not very happy with how the referee's just doing at the moment. It's certainly just
That's a push.
almost bubbling point out there, isn't it? There's Henry for Dunstable just got caught slightly by Ryan Parsons.
Just pushed him in. It was so silly of him.
And Marsh continues to have a little word in the ear of the referee there. He's not happy at all, but you can say this game's one strong challenge away from a bit of a kind of a rare up.
Obviously, last season we came here and you had the 2 red cards for the Rebels. One for Ryan Lake, the infamous one where he'd been on about a minute.
Truro have equalised. They are now 1-1 at home as the free kick's fired into the Slough box, but it's headed away by Guy Hollis, helped away by Sean Fraser up towards the halfway line, and Blackett's pushing Ed Smith in the back. He gets a foot in, but it's fallen to Watkin midway inside the Slough half. He's trying to find himself a little bit of space, plays it through to the feet of Mackenzie, gets the ball back, flicks it out further right. Dunstable playing with Slough at the moment, then good movement here, but good strong foot by Billy Jeffries, sends it back all the way to Slough, all the way to Dunstable's back four, who play it all the way back to keeper May, and Ed Smith's up there trying to put May under a little bit of pressure. He's cleared it up to the halfway line. Adam Martin gets in the way of it, but it's Watkin who's seemingly been everywhere. Lays the ball off to Talbot to Bailey, and Bailey trying to be cute, but ball ricochets off Gockman, and finally we can have a bit of a breath.
You can, can't you?
I can. I occasionally
You okay?
breathe. Yeah, I'm alright.
12 minutes into the second half we played.
Yeah,
Still Dunstable 2, Slough 1.
yeah, and it's a good game of football, isn't it? Really, I mean, again, not the highest quality, but there's plenty of effort and endeavour because both teams could kind of sack it off. Really, as Gockman hoiks a long ball forward, it's going to fall to left back Smith for Dunstable, with Ed Smith pursuing him, and he smashes the ball in the air, which is behind Tom Moran, and Marsh is after it, and Tom Moran's having to retreat to his own goal, and he's decided what to do, and Tom Moran heads the ball off, and he's I think he dealt with it okay.
Yeah.
The regimen away
I think
to
that Marsh had maybe gambled on him heading the ball back. There is a substitution for Dunstable. 8 is Charlie Henry. He will be leaving the field, and coming on will be number 12, Gary Jones.
So Jones on for Henry, and just the crowd at Truro is a massive 501. So I think Corby have probably taken a few down there because that's much bigger than their normal crowd, isn't it?
501?
501, yeah.
All right, I thought it said 50-50. Oh, yeah,
No,
the
that's
rest was
3562, which I'm taking it's not the attendance. As Dunstable have a long throw, and it looks to be
Short throw.
Smith from fullback position, trying to play the ball through, and Adam Martin does well, clips the ball up the line, and Ed Smith tries to flick it on, but Blackett comes in and combines it. Slough just penned back in their own half temporarily. Watkin, who seems to be ever present, nice little turn in the middle of mid-park. He's got a few seconds to pick a pass. He passes it out to left back Smith. Smith looks to play the ball forward off to Talbot. Dunstable just knocking the ball around well to the feet of Mackenzie Smith, but
Good tackle,
a good
Ben
tackle
Edwards.
by Ben Edwards to Adam Martin. Adam Martin looks to try and play a pass and puts it down a channel, and Ed Smith's not chasing after it. He's a bit disappointed that no one is, but May's had to come out of his goal to take it, and May's chipped the ball forward into the right back position. Tom Moran underneath it, big strong header, but it's And the ball hasn't gone. I don't think they've gone anywhere near gone. But Slough stop, and Watkins with the ball in midfield, advancing over the halfway line. He's trying to find a position to pull the trigger. He cuts back once, he cuts back twice, and he now pulls the trigger. Good save by Gockman. It ricochets, and Billy Jeffries puts it away. But you could tell that was in his intentions from 40 yards out, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could indeed. And the problem was Slough didn't get back and mark him quick enough. Adam Martin should have got back, and he's having a go at He's just having a go at Ed Smith for not chasing onto his pass. And then Ed Smith's giving him some verbals back, and it's not nice to see. The language is...
colourful, should you say?
I think colourful is a very polite way of saying
As the in-swinging corner from the far side, driven in towards the near post, helped away by Ryan Parsons, and now Gockman's in a chase against Watkins, and Watkins just steps on the ball, just trying to buy himself a little bit of time, gets shoved in by Gockman. Gockman doing a lot of good work, and Ryan Parsons
it off him.
And it's 3 on 3.
And look, they're fighting on the corner.
It's a good ball. If there's good ball played through, why were they fighting? Here comes our ball in our direction. Why were they fighting over there, Ed?
Gockman obviously challenged Watkins, and Ryan Parsons came through, and Watkins was on top of Gockman, and then he obviously pushed him or something.
As Tom Moran tries to play a ball forward, that's the least fair height battle ever. As Tom Moran plays the ball through to Sean Fraser, who hasn't been involved in the game, tries to clip the ball around the corner, and Ed Smith's going to get it. It's going to be held up slightly in the wind, dealt with and away by Blackett, but Slough certainly did. As I said, this game's on tenterhooks, isn't it? It's just bubbling. Yeah,
and Slough just playing a little bit better football, not trying to boot the ball over the top all the time. They're playing it into the channels.
2-1 to Poole at home, so another twist and turn in the title race.
Guy Hollis with the long throw.
Right hand side, Guy Hollis fires the ball in towards the near post. It's right up there. Billy Jeffries underneath it, and it's going towards Ed Smith, who seemed to have his shirt pulled there for a minute. He's running away from goal. Clips it all the way back to Ryan Parsons, who drives it in first time. Edge of the box. Tom Moran just flicks it on, but now it's going to be an opportunity for
Smith,
Dunstable to try and bring the ball away and fire the ball forward. But Smith smashes the ball forward. That's only all the way through to Williams. That's a bit pointless and a bit stupid. But wasn't the most thoughtful of balls that he's played.
Wasn't the best to play, but
Luke
Williams
Williams has played Ryan Parsons a bit of trouble. He's got the ball back now, smashes it up towards the halfway line long. Adam Martin's going to attack this ball, and he wins it well. And Chris Henry just having a good old battle there with Bailey, and passes the ball out now to Gockman, who's in acres of space, driving towards the edge of the box. He's going to cut it back. He's cut it back, and it's deflected wide, and it's got behind for a Slough corner on the far side. But Slough certainly in ascendancy here.
Yeah, it's a good play there from Slough. Chris Henry released Gockman, and Gockman just tried to get the thing. I think he maybe should have gone a little bit further, tried to get to the byline and get it back in. Unfortunately, he didn't. But it's a corner, and it's going to be. I'm trying to say. We're waiting for a ball, apparently. That's the whole.
And the Slough fans aren't too impressed by that, are they? as you can hear, there's
look, he's just taking his time kicking the ball back.
He's just a little bit gamesmanship they may be creeping in as Slough are waiting this corner on the far side. They're playing into a reasonably strong wind. It's going to be an outswinging corner from Chris Henry, the small, stocky figure. Plenty of movement in and around the box. He's looking to drive it in. It's in the direction of Tom Moran. It's over everybody, and Tom Moran valiantly trying to go and get the ball, but it's going to go over everybody's head.
And he's actually giving it a throw into Slough.
How's he done that?
I don't know, but he has, and Guy Hollis will take this. Another chance to put the ball in the box.
Yeah, so Guy Hollis will do that. If Slough score from this, I'm sure the Dunstable management will be furious as Guy Hollis, leaning back against the edge of the hoarding, fires the low ball in the direction of the goal. Flicked on by Billy Jeffries, and now it's hooked clear and picked up by Wharton on the halfway line, but helped back in by Sean Fraser, and then Gockman just jumped into Marsh. I think
he backed into him, and
I think that's a little bit of Gockman's frustration, and he's actually hurt himself in the process. He's got a clip through the process.
He's just making sure that he doesn't get booked. He's fine. But he just backed into the player rather than jump for the ball, and silly free kick to give away.
As the ball's fired along by May in the direction of Williams, and Williams a very strong shout clear and picks up the ball well, and he's very confident, isn't he? You know, in his decisions throughout these times since he's joined Slough.
He shouted there, which is one of the first times that we've actually heard him shout and let the defence know what he was doing. He plays a long ball up,
and it's
towards Smith.
And Smith gets on the ricochets of it, but it's Watkins in the middle of midfield, just hooked away by Blackett, and Guy Hollis on the halfway line wins that header, and Adam Martin tries to control it, going back towards the own goal, cuts it to Tom Moran, and Tom Moran passes the ball through, flicked on by Ben Edwards in the direction of Ed Smith, and
Blackett
once again getting involved and heads the ball away, and Bailey now. Marsh, having switched, finds himself on the right flank. Ball down the line to Wharton. Dunstable and that's a
Adam
stupid
Martin,
tackle by
silly
Adam
tackle.
Martin. He was going away from goal on the halfway line, and he's just clipped him, which then gives Dunstable the opportunity to get the ball into the Slough box.
For me, I can't understand why the referee doesn't book him for that.
No, it was cynical as well, wasn't it?
Cynical tackle.
Yeah, and certainly if you're Neil Baker over on that far side, you can't be too happy with such a silly clearance. As it looks like Talbot again going to swing this ball in left-footed. All the players gathering on the edge of the 18-yard box. He drives it in. Is caught the wind. Is headed away by Tom Moran. A good strong header, but only as far as Wharton on the edge of the box. Wharton passes the ball back to left back Smith for Dunstable. Smith, left foot, drives a crossfield ball in the direction of Long, but Adam Martin heads the ball strong and well. The gusty wind, not easy for either player. Still hooked into the Slough box. It's bouncing around there. It's forward to Wharton, edge of the box. He's going to pull the trigger, and it's a great strike, and it's just a foot over the bar, and that was a good chance for Dunstable.
It's good effort, but again, he had all the time in the world when that came to him. No one closed it down. And
Hitchin have equalised at Poole. It's 2-2. So that's a hell of a game down there on the south coast this afternoon. And yet another turn in the title races. Here, there's a substitution about to happen, and off is coming Mackenzie Smith, and on is coming number 14, who is David Lynn. So Lynn replaces Mackenzie. Gets a reasonable hand from the home crowd, doesn't he?
A couple of fans behind the goal.
It's the regiment, I'll have you know. Oh, hang on, I've dropped my
What's the regiment?
That's the name that the Dunstable team call themselves, I believe.
Dunstable team?
The Dunstable fans, who must number about 5 or 6.
It's not the world's largest regiment, then, is it?
No, it's as a good header by Adam Martin heads the ball on, but it's dealt with well by Long. As Slough asking some more questions of Dunstable. They look brighter as we are 20 minutes into this second half. I'm going to hand over to Ade for commentary in a couple of minutes soon, but at the moment, Slough are attacking towards the edge of the box. Good flip by Ben Edwards to Gockman. Ben Edwards goes for a return, tries to flick the ball across goal. Flipped down by Ed Smith, but it's not just the wrong side of Henry. But Adam Martin's got plenty of time. Passes the ball out to Tom Moran. Tom Moran, a bit of a heavy first touch. He's getting shut down though, but he telegraphs a pass, and out comes Smith with the ball for Dunstable to Watkin in the middle of the park, and taken off him by Marsh. And Marsh driving over the halfway line, left-footed, long legs, just cuts back and stops. We'll pass the ball inside to Watkin. Watkin turns, dummies, shies himself away. He's going to look to Smith in the left back position, but short ball to Talbot. Talbot round the corner, helps it on its way to substitute Jones, and Jones just not quite sharp enough. And then there's a bit of space and time for Ben Edwards from Adam Martin's pass. Poor pass though, and it's straight through to Bailey. And
but Slough got it back with Parsons, who plays it through, and Bailey again. Yeah,
and now picked up in the middle by Watkins. It's just going through a messy period of play here, isn't it, at Creasey Park? Guy Hollis nearly gets outdone by Wharton. And Wharton snapshot, and he's nearly killed. No, my car's not quite in that direction. As one of the Slough fans, Tony, there quickly throws the ball on.
Tony, that's
oh no,
Pepe.
And I'll. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he's saying. He's saying, "Get 5." As he's saying. As the referee's assistant on the near side is having a bit of interaction for once with the player saying, "No, it wasn't." As we're midway inside the second half, Slough trailing by a goal, losing 2-1 currently to Dunstable, and I'll hand you over to Ade to take you through to full time.
Okay. Blackett clears for Dunstable. Long clearance. Wind again takes it straight through to Williams in the goal.
Wind again.
What have you done? You farted or something?
No, you said wind again.
It's Williams with again long.
Did there?
Yes.
Good.
Adam Martin again flicks it on. Ed Smith does well to win the ball up against Bailey, but comes to Talbot in the centre for Dunstable. Out to Smith, the left back. Closed down by Fraser. Flicked on by Watkins, looking for the number 12, Jones. He's up against Tom Moran, and Tom Moran will see that one out for a throw in the far hand side. Guy Hollis will go over to take that one to put a little bit of distance on the throw there.
Dorchester taken the lead against St Neots, so St Neots trailing at home as well. Trailing on the road in their game.
Flicked on by Adam Martin to Chris Henry. Henry flicks it on for Smith. Up against the right back to Adam Martin. Trying to flick it out to Gottman. Gottman just a bit too far forwards. Does well to win the ball, keep it into Ryan Parsons. Played down the line, but Watkins comes over to stop it forward to Smith. Plays it back to Charlie May in the Dunstable goal, and no one closes him down. So he's got plenty of time to take a long clearance. And it's an exceptionally long clearance, and again, Dunstable not dealing with this wind. It's straight through from one keeper to the other. Luke Williams.
Yeah. This second half, they haven't come out and just been quite strong. They haven't played with the fluidity they played in the first half. As Adam Martin, almost playing as a third striker, just wins the ball.
Flicking by Fraser to Chris Henry, and Chris Henry trying to get the ball in.
And Adam Martin,
David Longking with the long legs comes across. So 24 minutes, and Slough have a corner on the far near-hand side. Chris Henry goes over to take. Slough send Billy Jeffries and Tom Moran just to put a little bit of height in there, but Sean Fraser comes to run for the short one. Henry plays it in. It's free header for Tom Moran, and it's saved on the line. And it's
hooked in by Billy Jeffries. Billy Jeffries in the 70th minute has scored an equaliser.
Again, poor defence. This time from Dunstable. Ball came over to Tom Moran. Good header. Charlie May, the goalkeeper, does well to keep it out, and no one seemed to want to clear it for Dunstable. Came to Billy Jeffries, fired it into the roof of the net to make it 2-2. And the Slough fans on the far hand side, a little bit more noise. And Billy Jeffries just come back into the team following injury.
He hasn't had a bad game, has he? But it's very similar to last season. Now we're at 2-2. Could it be another 3-2? Let's hope Slough are on the right end of it.
Yeah, but we lost it last season 3-2.
Yeah, well, let's hope this time we're on the right end of it. But it again shows the team's mental strength that they've come back from 2-0 down, and Ben Edwards having a right old battle with Watkins in the middle of the field. Didn't seem to be a lot there to me.
No, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
That's not where it was. That's not where it was, though, is it?
No. And Watkins has been very in the middle of a lot of the action, but Gockman wins the ball. It's 3 against 1 at the moment if he can play the ball in. It's a poor ball into Smith. It's behind him. Back out to Gockman. He's got the chance on the far hand side. Turns Bailey. But
Bailey turns back. Wow. they both did pirouettes one after the other, didn't they? And
Gottman made the wrong choice there. It was 3 against 1 for Slough, and a poor ball in by him. But it's Adam Martin back out to Gottman, but it's blocks. Slough got it back. Long King clears it for Dunstable. Martin flicks it in back to Ryan Parsons. Flicked on for Chris Henry, and he can't take a touch. It's been defended well by Dunstable.
Blackett, yeah,
It'll
Blackett
be
there.
Another corner on the far hand side this time. Chris Henry to go over to take. Slough putting some pressure
you can have
on.
that if you want. Just
so
there you go. No, it's just let you have it if you want.
Okay, just give me your notes. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll give you my nose.
It's going to be an outswinging corner on the far hand side. Chris Henry to take this for the Rebels. It's 2-2 now here at Creasey Park. This time he plays the ball. Aiming again for Billy Jeffries and Tom Red. One by Blackett. Martin flicks it on. Blackett all the time in the world to clear that one. High boot clearance. Marsh will be up against Fraser looking for this ball. And how is that any difference to the foul that he just gave against Watkins and Ben Edwards? It isn't. Adam Martin flicks it on. Chris Henry's on the far hand side.
Only Ed Smith in the box.
He's coming inside. Goes past one. Flicks it too far behind Ed Smith and the left back for Dunstable. Charlie Smith has time to bring this ball out. Looking down the line. Overhit yet again by Dunstable. They will be very disappointed with how they played this second half. The ball again has rolled through to Luke Williams in goal, who immediately bowls it out to Ryan Parsons in the left back position. He's got plenty of time on the ball to play the ball forwards. Long ball up. Ed Smith up against Long King. Ball's falling through to Adam. It's come out to Sean Fraser, and he's given a free kick against Adam Martin.
And Adam Martin's going to go in the book.
And he's going to get booked. And Talbot was the player that was supposedly fouled, but the referee's gone through and made some strange decisions these last 5 or 10
so in the
minutes.
73rd minute, the second Rebels player to go in the book is Adam Martin, which, as you say, a very odd decision there.
Is Adam Martin trying to overtake Reece York's collection of yellow cards? Is that what it is?
There's an inter-team competition going on, I think.
Charlie May will take the free kick. It's just inside the centre circle, inside the Dunstable half. Tries to play through for Gary Jones, and it falls to Jones. And Chris Marsh on the far hand side can't keep it in for Dunstable, and it will be a goal kick to the Rebels. So it's 2-2 here at Creasey Park.
Do you want to know some other scores?
Give us. We're 12 minutes. What's that? 17 minutes left of the first half, isn't it?
Second half.
Second half. I don't know where
we've got 17 minutes to go, plus a bit of injury time. Other scores in the division: Arlesey 0, Poulton 0, Banbury 1, Weymouth 0, Bideford 0, Biggleswade 1, Burnham 0, Redditch 2. Dorchester 1, St Neots 1.
We've got the referee's actually given Slough a free kick, much to the delight of the Slough fans. It's the first one he's given to them in a while. Go back to your teams.
Chippenham 1, Cambridge 1, Dorchester 1, St Neots 1 in the playoff race, Dunstable 2, Slough 2, Histon 1, Cirencester 1, Hungerford, not surprisingly, haven't conceded at home as yet. They're winning 1-0 against Chesham. Poole 2, Hitchin 2, and Truro 1, Corby 1. So it would be as you were at the
Ryan
top.
Parsons fix it in. So up towards Billy Jeffries. Blackett's gone down as if he's got an elbow in the face. It is a head injury and it's been stopped.
I don't see an awful lot in that. The Slough fans on the right hand side
jumped up with their arms.
I think the Slough fans on the far side are calling a little bit of foul.
Play acting maybe.
Yeah, against Blackett again, and
he's certainly down there holding his face. So
it's bubbling against nicely, isn't it, Mad Dog? as the game's just going through a little bit of a phase where it's where there's just a little bit niggle and edge out there, isn't there? Ever since Slough come back into the game,
and some choice language being used.
And I think quite a lot of it's coming from the Slough fans on the far side. I think it's blowing across here. So
Blackett seems to be fine. He's up and about. So he's going to come off the field because he's had some treatment from the physio. But no lasting injury, unlike Dan Reid, who couldn't last after the 5 minutes. No sign of a substitution for the Rebels. They've got all three subs are on the far side warming up. So I think the referee is going to do a drop ball, is he?
An old school drop ball?
No, he's not. He's going to let the goalkeeper kick it down, isn't he?
And hopefully Williams will keep an eye on it. Which would be nice if he did.
Williams just rolls the ball forward. He's going to take a long kick as the winds drop the second. Play forward. Adam Martin will win up against Blackett. Blackett jumped up with his arms there as well, so he can't complain. Moran does well to win the ball. And Watkins
he had two little kicks there at Ben Edwards as he took the ball away, and the referee stood 10 yards away from it and doesn't take any action. As Ben Edwards was just beating him off
into
the ball,
Wharton. Wharton does well against Hollis. Back with Smith, the left back. Closed down by Ben Edwards, who gives it. He's got to play all the way back to the goalkeeper. Two Slough players charging them down, and May this time almost looked like a good ball played in, but Smith couldn't react to it, so it's a throw-in. Guy Hollis is going to take this one just in front of us by the halfway line.
And I hate to say this, but Slough are almost sensing blood here, aren't they?
Chris Henry is in here. Oh, he's trod on the ball. But Dunstable can't clear. It's back with Ben Edwards to Adam Martin. Adam Martin puts the ball in. Gockman tries to flick it on.
And Ryan Parsons will get the ball on the far side.
Parsons plays it in. It's to Smith. Smith up against two players. Gives it back to Gockman.
Yes!
It's in! Gockman gets the third for Slough, and Slough have again come back from a 2-goal deficit to lead here at Creasey Park, Dunstable. It's Dunstable 2, Slough Town 3. And some good play there by Slough. Some poor defending yet again by Dunstable. And Gockman gets his first goal for the Rebels.
77th minute is what?
77th minute.
So.
And, Dunstable this second half have been fairly poor.
Oh, I haven't got... I'll have a look for you in a minute. I've been asked who's won the National.
You're not allowed to say, are you?
I can have a little look.
So it's 3-2 here at Creasey Park, and Slough have turned it round in this second half, and Dunstable kick off. The ball's out with Smith. Plays it into Watkin. Watkin does well. Plays it up towards the substitute Lynn.
You concentrate on that, not on your phone.
I'm trying to find the Grand National thingy. But Dunstable again, long ball forwards.
Many clouds won the National. You're not allowed to say that. And AP McCoy came fifth. If Mick, you're listening to this, please don't listen to what we've just said. If you've recorded it,
I didn't say it, Mick. I didn't read it for you.
I didn't say it either, Mick. Mick, tune out.
I think Mick's always tuned out. It's going to be a throw-in for Slough in the deep inside their own half. It's going to be Guy Hollis to take this, to gain a little bit of distance with a long throw out. I think he'll be aiming for Adam Martin again. It is. Adam Martin up against it. He does well to flick it on to Smith. Smith inside to Henry. Gockman again on the far-hand side. But it's up for Blackett against Smith. Smith will do well to win this. This time it's Charlie Smith, though, that beats Tom Moran with a good header in. Adam Martin, lovely control in the centre of the park. No options for him. He's looking for Gockman.
He smashed the ball out left, and it will hold up in the wind, and Gockman will get after it. He tries to
keep that in. No.
He hasn't kept it in on the far side.
It'll be a throw in on the far hand side. Bailey for Dunstable takes it quick to Watkins. Watkins up towards
Marsh on the far side.
Yeah, Marsh on the far side, up against Ryan Parsons. He's doing well on that.
Well, he's going sideways mostly, wasn't
Back
he?
to Watkins in the centre. He's going to play the ball out. Gary Jones does well to chest it to the left back Smith. Smith closed down by Fraser. Ball's flicked on. A little bit behind Charlie Smith. He's looking for the ball. Back to Charlie Smith. Looking for a pass. He's been closed down by Fraser and Ben Edwards. Does well to try and make some space. Gives it to Lynn. Lynn gives it back to Smith. And a tackle by Henry. It's fallen to Chris Marsh in the penalty area. He goes down like a sack of potatoes. And Ryan Parsons
and Williams has come about 25 yards to have a go at Marsh there. It's quite entertaining.
Ryan Parsons plays it down the line. And Chris Henry will keep this in. And it's 2 against 2. Henry on the far hand side into Smith. Smith closed down.
He's not having a good game, is he, out there, Fred? He's
He's got the ball again. He's cut inside. He goes to the byline. Plays it in the middle and some good defending there. Sean Fraser was the last person in the centre of the box.
He might have scored his second in like 105 games or something like that.
And Slough with a corner again and some good defending by Dunstable this time. Stops it falling to Fraser, who would have just had an empty net to put it into. But Chris Henry will go over to take this. Slough fans still incensed by the fact that Chris Marsh seemed to fall over in the penalty area.
Yeah, I'm sure Marsh will see it differently as we go into the final 10 minutes here. It's Dunstable 2, Slough 3.
Chris Henry taking his time with this corner. Again, played in. There's a push in the box. It's going to come out to Sean Fraser. Flicks it out to Chris Henry.
Up against Marsh.
Still got time to get the ball in. Tries to go past him. He does well. Drives it to the byline. Plays it into the middle. Blocked by Long King. Out towards Chris Marsh. He's got time to clear it. Well blocked by Ben Edwards. Out for a throw on the far hand side. You got any more scores?
Yeah, Banbury have scored a second against Weymouth. So Banbury 2, Weymouth 0. So Banbury fighting hard to stave off relegation.
Yeah, long throw in from Dunstable. Well won by Adam Martin. One again by Dunstable. But it will throw out to a throw on the far hand side. Guy Hollis will let it go, and Slough will just waste a little bit of time.
Yeah,
Williams has to go over to get the ball there. So
yeah, you just wonder whether they might bring on young Betts to take it to give a bit of running there and threaten them a little bit. Get rid of Ed Smith, yeah.
Long King with the free header.
Oh, Billy Jeffrey's got a little bit under that, but he's going to have a second attempt at it. His second one goes up quite high as well, and then finally the ball's down, and Marsh is getting ridden by Billy Jeffrey. And just inside the centre circle, there's a free kick to Dunstable. They're looking to try and get on with things now.
Talbot's got on the ball, but looks like they're going to try and play it forward. Blackett goes forwards for Dunstable. Long King, the other centre back, goes forwards as well. So Dunstable send the big players up forwards for this free kick. It's going to be Danny Talbot who's going to go and put this cross in. Everyone aiming at the 18-yard line. It's played in. It's won by Guy Hollis, and it will come out to Sean Fraser with time to control the ball. He's going to just play it ball down the line to Ed Smith. Smith does well to hold it up. Back to Sean Fraser. Fraser flicking the ball in, unfortunately, to no one in the middle. And Bailey can bring it out for Dunstable to Marsh. Up against Ryan Parsons.
And I'm not sure whether it's just temporary or whether it's permanent, but Blackett stayed up front for Dunstable. So whether or not it's just this particular move, or whether they've gone to playing another player.
The ball's come to Marsh. He's about 25 yards out. He shoots and he fires that one hello and just wide of the far post.
And we'll now see whether Blackett makes his way all the way back or whether he's staying up top.
No, he's going all the way.
He is going home now, isn't he? I think
He's
he just.
not going home.
Well, okay, not home.
Not yet. And Williams will take his time on this goal kick. Here at Creasey Park, it's Dunstable 2, Slough Town 3. 38 minutes gone, and the games between Dunstable and Slough always, there's only been 3 before today, 12 goals in those games, and further 5 goals here today, so it was never going to be a 0-0 draw. As Williams takes his time, kicks it long up there, aiming for Adam Martin, up against Long King, does well to hold it, but Lynn wins it across, and the Slough players are incensed that the referee's given it as a throw into Dunstable. It will be Bailey to take it 5 yards further than when the ball went off. Wharton, been kept quiet in the second half, wins the ball. Adam Martin to Sean Fraser. Fraser, lovely pass out to Tom Moran. Tom Moran's got the time here to close the ball down. Takes the time, long ball up.
Chris Henry's going to run in behind other Henry.
And Chris Henry does well
behind
to chase
Smith.
Charlie Smith down. Plays it back to the goalkeeper, May. May lets it roll across his line. Billy Jeffries with the header forwards. And it will fall into the hands of Charlie May.
Corey had tweeting that there's a penalty appeal, but ref only gave a free kick. That makes a change.
Free header for Billy Jeffries. It's going to fall to Sean Fraser. Pushed in the back. And the ball can be played through to Wharton. Wharton up against Guy Hollis. Out to Jones. Jones back into Watkins. Watkins time to turn in the centre. Plays it to Marsh. Marsh closed down by Gockman. Back to Watkins. Watkins a little bit further out than he wants to be.
Gockman's looked quite good since he's come on there. He's looked energetic, but Dunstable are pressuring here.
Bailey on the overlap. Up against Ryan Parsons. Plays it on Ryan Parsons and will win a corner for Dunstable and the far hand side. And Talbot will go through to take this. Into the final 6 minutes of the game. Blackett coming up at the far post. Now just got to be aware of who's coming up where. And the other centre back, David Long King, also joins him. Also going up is the right back, Bailey. Ball's played in. It's a good one. It's a free header there.
A great header there by Adam Martin.
Jeffries.
It was Adam Martin.
Adam Martin?
Yeah, Adam Martin. Just underneath, I think it was
Shane
Blackett at the back.
was
Yeah,
one at the far post. And
Adam Martin chucked himself at the ball. I was expecting the neck to bulge and Blackett to be wheeling away in celebration, but
not to be. And it's going to be a corner on the near hand side. Again, Talbot's come over to take this for Dunstable. Slough just got to be a little bit more careful.
yeah, they could do with getting the ball up the other end, couldn't they? If I'm honest. Just
And the ball's played in. One this time by Billy Jeffries. Ed Smith will come and take Watkins on. Does well to win the ball, but it's fallen kindly for Watkins. Plays it back to Smith. Charlie Smith for Dunstable. Plays the ball forward. Slough will win that one with Gottman.
Adam Martin should have given him a shout there, shouldn't he, really? Just to take the ball through. But Slough stuck behind the ball at the moment with Watkins just midway inside the Dunstable half, looking to play the ball into the
Plenty of
box.
time on the ball. To Marsh. Marsh looking for some options wide, but there's nothing out there for him. He's going further back. Comes back to Charlie Smith, the left back. Brings it over the halfway line, looking for the long ball forwards. Blackett's still up there. It's fallen to Marsh. 25 yards out. He's looking
Great
to tee
tackle,
up.
great tackle
And,
by Billy Jeffries there.
yeah,
And Ben Edwards comes away with the ball
out.
up to the halfway line. And now Henry, it's just hit him again. Nothing's going right for little Chris Henry out there today. He's tried a trick, he's messed that up. And he's won the ball back. Knocked the ball past him and run. Knocked the ball past him and run.
Marsh went down again. They're looking for a free kick, and again he was on the floor throwing his toys out of the pram because nothing was given.
But it was a superb tackle there by Billy Jeffries, so I don't even see what he was moaning about, really.
So it's a throw in for Slough on the far-hand side.
And for Dunstable, since that substitution, it is that Marsh is playing a centre forward position. Goal kick for Dunstable, but Marsh is playing up top with Mackenzie Lowe.
No, that's Wharton. Mackenzie Lowe's
Oh,
gone
sorry,
off.
that's who I meant.
Do you want your piece of paper back?
No.
I've got your notes.
Penalty to Banbury. Are they going to get a third?
May with a long ball flicked on by Gary Jones to Chris Marsh, then to Wharton. Wharton time to take it up. He's looking, he shoots, well blocked by Guy Hollis, cleared by Tom Moran, only as far as Gherkin, but it comes back to Watkins, 25 yards out, looking to get it on his right foot. Goes further wide, up against Ryan Parsons. Gockman comes over to help him out. He's up against two, he's still going to try and go it on his own. Chance to get the ball in, he does well. Good header by Billy Jeffries. And this time Slough can clear through Ben Edwards, but not clear properly. And it will fall to Charlie Smith to look at him, but Ben Edwards will have time. He's closed down by Jones and falls on. He trod on the ball, and the referee.
I think it was the original buffeting of him before he trod on the ball.
No, Ben Edwards is smiling. I don't think that was a fairly soft free kick given in favour of the Rebels there. And Ben Edwards is on hunched over his knees. He's
having to breathe, the old man. Leave him alone.
He's loving the sun.
Hungerford have a second penalty.
Looked over. So it's a free kick to Slough, just inside the half, which Williams to take it. Aiming for Adam Martin. Martin up against Blackett. He's going to let it run, and Ed Smith will come on to that, but Charlie May comes out and claims that one.
We're in the final 2 minutes.
On the
Final 2 minutes.
Billy Jeffries again, brilliant header, and Tom Moran is fouled there, and he's got a throw on. Gary Jones was up against him. Tom Moran did very, very well to take the buffet in there and come out away with the ball. Guy Hollis is going to take the long throw to try and put it deep into the Dunstable territory. Long throw by him. Aimed again at Adam Martin. Martin with a chance to take the ball down. Up against two. Blocked by Charlie Smith, who can clear. And it's Bailey, the right back, is further up there. Up against Billy Jeffries. Comes back on himself, looking to get the cross in. Does get the cross in. In towards Marsh. Marsh up against two. He's trying to turn it. He does turn. Well blocked by Ryan Parsons. It's out to Watkins. Watkins shoots left-footed, and that is not
the best choice of option there because they had Slough under a lot of pressure.
Foot, shall we say, and that one hits the
Truro penalty. There's a penalty. Truro. Penalty to Truro deep in that last game. It's 1-1 Truro 1 Corby 1, and this could be massive in the title. and Corby might not be happy because late on in the game before the floodlights went out when they were winning 2-1, they now may face being 2-1 down at home.
Williams long ball forwards, getting Adam Martin to win it. Does well to control it on his chest, flicking the ball on for Chris Henry. Chris Henry's got a chance on the far hand side. He's up again, trying to play it in past Charlie May, who was off his line. It was a bit like the Bobby Zamora goal for QPR against West Brom. Unfortunately, he didn't get enough contact on it, and Blackett was back there to clear it out. It'll be a throw-in for Slough on the far-hand side. We are into the final minute of normal time. Ryan Parsons to Chris Henry. Back to Ryan Parsons. He's looking to get it in. Gets it into Ed Smith, who holds the ball up, turns Blackett, he shoots! It's 4!
Ed Smith in the 89th minute, in the 90th minute, scores a goal which will surely send Slough on their way to 3 points away at Creasey Park.
It's like Cirencester all over again, isn't it? As Slough have scored a 4th goal for them today, scored by Ed Smith. And at 2-0, Dunstable looked like they could score every attack. It's now Dunstable 2, Slough Town 4.
And all goals have been scored in that end.
No, 2-1 at half time.
Oh, sorry, all goals bar 1 have been scored in that end.
Well, that's not much of a stat, is
it?
Yeah,
but out of 6 goals, 5 of them scored in the end against the wind. It's interesting.
Apparently it's interesting, so if you agree with that, that's great. Oh, we're getting really boring now, aren't we? Dunstable start the game again. It's with Talbot. And Dunstable have had a habit of conceding and losing big games here at home. They've lost here 6-2 at home. They've also lost 5-3 at home. They lost 4-2 to Corby here as well. So maybe the fact that the pitch is in such good condition allows the other teams to do it. It's Gockman on the far-hand side, up against Long King. Long King does well. But it's cleared through. And Bailey, the right-back, seems to be playing as a makeshift striker as Tom Moran heads home to Luke Williams. But Bailey is playing up front as a striker for Dunstable. And Dunstable have kind of gone free at the back.
In other news, it is 2-1 to Truro. Truro 2, Corby 1. Biggleswade have won 1-0 away at Bideford.
Ball's fallen to Henry, mistake. And he's not looked up to see where Ed Smith is. He's played the ball forwards, but Ed hadn't made the run. And May, the goalkeeper for Dunstable, has chimed to control and clear it. Aiming long. Wharton flicks it on, but no one forwards for Dunstable. Williams will take his time to chest that one down. And he's just going to walk back and wait for a Dunstable player to close him down. But not a single Dunstable player decides they want to do so. So Williams just standing there with the ball at his feet. Just taking his time. As Marsh, the captain, slowly comes up and Williams.
And then as he runs away, he should bowl it out and then kick it off the floor. Yeah, here we go. See, he's done it.
So Williams drops the ball, kicks it long. Again, aimed for Adam Martin. Adam Martin up against Blackett.
And again, he's holding his hand.
This time it's Guy Hollis up against
Bailey, who I think that was a shot.
Bailey, the right back,
that's going to hit my car.
Out the grounds.
That's my car. In between those vans is my car. I think it just hit it.
Oh well, that's right.
Odd for Slough to have come back from a two
because they did it at St Neots.
Did it at Kettering.
Did it at Porton.
Yeah, there's been a few games, but we are in the 48th minute here. It is Dunstable 2, Slough 4, and you would have predicted that after 25 minutes.
Maybe Slough need to stop giving teams a 2-0 head start in games and trying to come back and making it hard for themselves. But they proved that if they do play the football, they can actually do it well and score lots of goals as they've done today. And
some of the players that look to have had strong games today for Slough, certainly Chris Henry, Adam Martin, Gurkham Gocham, has been impressive when he's been given the full responsibility. Billy Jeffries has done enough.
And that is the final whistle. So at Creasey Park, Dunstable, the final score is Dunstable Town 2, Slough Town 4. The goals for the first half of Dunstable coming from Wharton and Marsh, and first half for Slough was Adam Martin. Goals in the second half come from Billy Jeffries, Gurkham Gottman and Ed Smith to leave Slough with a 4-2 victory away to Dunstable, and Dunstable's poor home form continues.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's disappointed for Yella, whose team went 2-0 up early in the game. 27 minutes gone, and they went 2-0 up. And the Slough faithful giving their team a good hand as they make their way off.
They've gone straight off the pitch, though, haven't they?
And I think this will be sweet revenge for last season and for earlier in the season when Dunstable did give Slough a 3-0 drubbing at home.
They did indeed, and but they've had a change of players there, and. But Dunstable still looked fairly good first half. The Dunstable players are actually still going to stay out on the pitch with their manager, Tony Fontenelle, and he's obviously going to give them
a word, I would have thought.
Yeah, not so much a dressing down, but I mean, second half they
came out of the dressing rooms and just didn't play, did they?
Fell into the same trap Slough did in the first half by trying to play with the wind rather than just playing football.
Yeah, some early other full times is Banbury United 3, Weymouth 0. Bideford 0, Biggleswade Town 1, Dunstable 2, Slough 4, Histon 1, Cirencester 1, and some of the other games are continuing to play as Adrian's just a bit anxious about getting on the bus.
Well, you got my table.
I don't care about your table. Do you want to start taking stuff off it? You can start taking it apart.
Okay.
It's okay. Don't.
Bye from me then.
Goodbye from you. Right. Anyway, we will sign off. Thank you ever so much for joining the Rebels in their second to last away day potentially of the season. We look forward to greeting you all next week to the last home game, MyFC Day against Frome Town. Slough have had a hell of a performance here. Full-time Pool 2, Hitchin 2. Full-time Arlesey 0, Poulton 0. Lots of players absolutely out on their feet, but thank you ever so much for tuning in. We'll be back with you next Saturday. Hopefully we'll have some news on the Banbury United game, and we'll speak to you